Should I put this in a different?
Mo's not here, but it's still his fault. We've been watching in chat. You guys got it right. It's still Mo's fault.
Oh, Mo,
It's always Mo's fault.
Oh man, did you already flip
Mo-
a coin, Jade, or whatever
Mo
you did?
Bamba. No, I can do that though. You want to? I didn't know if you wanted to introduce.
No,
or
yeah,
everybody
you can just
know.
go ahead and get that out of the way and then let everybody know.
Yeah, while we getting this out the way, because we dive straight into it, blame Mo because we're late. Sami Zayn is an idiot. I'll get onto it later if we have time. That man is an idiot. Yeah, everybody who was like, I'm hating for no reason, he just proved my point. He literally just proved my point.
Shout out to my dog.
He turned the heel, bro. I'm telling you.
Punk and
right.
Sami Zayn out.
So I'm just gonna do it this way. I've got an app with the coin flip on it. I'll do
Yeah.
heads. The ball is in Malik and Nate's court. Tails, it goes to Jen and Lynn and G. Good lord. Here we go. All right, it's tails. I don't know if you can see that, but it's tails for Lynn and G. All right, chat. We're gonna kind of dive right into it because we are running a little bit late today. So we're bringing back an idea that Nate brought on board this a couple of years back now, which is crazy. The Ultimate Wrestling Debate. If you're new here or if you haven't seen one of these, we're going to do 5 topics. Each side is going to be represented by one of these teams, either G and Lynn over here or Malik and Nate over here. There may be some rounds where the side you're defending isn't necessarily the side you agree with. If so, that's too damn bad. You still have to make it work. You still have to convince me as the moderator and the judge that your side is the right side. Each side will have 6 minutes to establish their points, and then we will have a 6-minute rebuttal, and then I will decide which team, based solely on the facts that they presented and the style in which they presented them, which side took the win. So we'll go ahead and you guys, if you're new to it, you'll see how it works as we get into the first topic. Yep. The first topic is, which era of WWE was the better overall era? NXT, Black and Gold, or Ruthless Aggression? G and Lynn won the coin toss. So G and Lynn, you get to either pick the side that you want to defend, or if you're comfortable defending either side, you can choose to defer the choice and take the last word in the debate. So where do you guys want to go?
G, you already know.
I was about to say, as Randy Moss said, tails never fails. We are picking and we are taking NXT Black and Gold. I don't care if we go first or last. Don't matter. We want NXT Black and Gold. We had that in the game plan. We needed that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So you guys will go first then. I'm going to set a timer for 6 minutes. Are you guys ready? Present your case.
Is it us first or them?
It's them. NXT Black and Gold.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
I was like, go ahead, G.
Yeah.
I'll start the timer over. 3, 2, 1, go.
My bad. So NXT Black and Gold, we all know it's an era in time in which when WWE main roster was giving us crap after bull, after confusing, after fumbles, left, right, and center, NXT Black and Gold was almost like an escape to what we felt wrestling should be. NXT Black and Gold will always be remembered as the perfect combination of in-ring wrestling, long-term and short-term storytelling. And mind you, for most of that era, they only had an hour of television to do it. As much as we love Ruthless Aggression era for establishing the main stars, I'll let them talk about that later. I think people really need to look at a lot of the main stars we see in main roster even today hit that Black and Gold. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, obviously, it's been fumbled. Adam Cole. You can almost argue that we might not get AEW if Black and Gold isn't such a hit. Because Black and Gold was such a hit, but the main roster kept fumbling. They started off great. Kevin Owens' debut was good. Sami Zayn was coming along. Finn Balor, they gave him the Universal title, but then it started falling by the wayside a little bit. It was so much so we're like, NXT Black and Gold was the only place you wanted to be because it was so good. It had so much quality behind
Black and Gold was so good that the fans were upset at Raw and SmackDown each week because Black and Gold was so good. Black and Gold was so good that Vince was jealous of the product's popularity and success. Continue, G.
Takeovers were clearing WrestleManias by far. Not even close. I don't need to do a full year-by-year breakdown, right? Because if we go year by year, the quality of that city, we don't have enough time for that. But I do just want to really, really touch on for real. Because the early years, we had the Sami Zayn underdog story. The one time it was good. We had the Demon Finn Balor debut, Samoa Joe, the dominance of Asuka, the revival of the women's division with the 4 horsewomen, and
Starts in
arguably
NXT
one of
Black
the
and
greatest
Gold.
women's matches of all time with Bayley and Sasha.
The undisputed era.
I don't think y'all understand. There was a year and a half, 18-month, 20-month period where NXT was giving you elite pay-per-view after elite pay-per-view after elite pay-per-view, back to back to back. Everybody complains about the six-match card style now. NXT had it perfected to where we were begging for WWE to go to that style. War Games, everybody complains about it now. We were begging for them to bring War Games to the main roster the way NXT had it done. And mind you, again, most of this was done with 1 hour of television on the WWE network.
The Ruthless Aggression guys are going to come and talk about how powerful their stars are. But when you look at NXT Black and Gold, the work rate and the wrestling that was in ring was better than the Ruthless Aggression. And then when you look at the Ruthless Aggression stars, very top heavy. NXT Black and Gold, like G said, you want the women or you want the men? Continue, G.
Especially with the revival of the tag division. We made Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa one of the biggest stars they ever had. They started off in a tag team, helped revive that. AOP were big stars. Hell, if you want to go all the way back to the Ascension, when they was cooking,
and
they made the Lucha Dragons look credible for real. The Street Profits had their moment. You can Andrade Cien Almas. When he first came in, anybody was worried about that man. The resurgence of Drew McIntyre, for crying out loud. There's so many people you go down to. And yes, I can understand they didn't really work out on the main roster, most of them anyway. There was a good amount that did. They had their cream, but there was more that we knew if they go to the main roster, Vince is going to ruin them. Get that 100%. However, when you look at the quality that they gave, again, mind you, 1 hour of television. They didn't have 2 shows with 6 hours of television to make these guys. They had 1 hour once a week. And the fact that they were able to make so many stars in the women's division, in the tag division, main, and then with the introduction of the North American title, how many stars they made then, right? It's the quality that you get, the long-term and short-term storytelling, the match quality that you got, even on a regular Tuesday, not just TakeOver, on a regular Tuesday.
And to speak on the match quality, Jade, I know you're a fan of Golden Era, New Generation, that classic, great work rate. That's 90 seconds, by the way. NXT. NXT's work rate is some of the best. I know we don't care about Dave Meltzer, but when you look at stars, has more in NXT Black and Gold Era than you do in the Ruthless Aggression Era. I know we don't care about him, but that's just to give some numbers behind what me and G are saying. And no, the work rate in the Ruthless Aggression can't compare to NXT Black and Gold. Continue.
And so wrap up everything, because I know we're running short on time.
Final minute.
Running short on time. You look at the stars that even are in the company now. Rhea Ripley, Black and Gold. You look at Kevin Owens. You have the Sami Zayns. You have the Seth Rollins. You have the Drew McIntyres. Roman Reigns wasn't really there, so we're not going to count him. But you look at all of those. Even when you look at the main roster now, that blueprint at NXT, it might not be executed the same. It might not be executed as well. But that blueprint clearly works, because the future that we're driving through is still coming from those guys that came down there.
And the way that wrestling is looked at today, the way wrestling is, they're trying to mimic NXT Black and Gold.
All right, 15 seconds left. Any final points to make?
I'm good.
We're good.
Okay. All right. Surrendering the rest of the time. All right. Great points, one and all. But now we move to the other side. So chat now. Malik and Nate's responsibility is to convince me that the Ruthless Aggression Era, even with everything they just said, is better than the Black and Gold Era. Are you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hit it.
All right. So NXT Black and Gold was legendary, iconic, but the Ruthless Aggression Era, I feel, is definitely better for sure, especially when it comes to the stars that were created within that era. NXT was great, but the Ruthless Aggression Era was able to take guys, we can't remember, from the Attitude Era that were already established guys, and you can argue they made some of those guys even bigger and better in the Ruthless Aggression Era. Kurt Angle probably had a better stretch in that era. Triple H, you could argue and debate back and forth. Undertaker was still really good in that era, and they were able to take guys also from that era who may not have been main event guys and establish them as bigger talent in the Ruthless Aggression Era. Edge became a bigger guy in that era. Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, JBL became a top heel in that era. He was a tag team guy before that. Nobody was talking about JBL in the Attitude Era. And then you got to also remember the legends they created. Cena, Orton, Batista, Brock Lesnar. These are like icons in wrestling that we're talking about. Many of us have come up here and said that John Cena is arguably the GOAT, greatest of all time in WWE history. Batista, Randy Orton, two legends. Brock Lesnar, one of the biggest draws the company's ever had. I feel like within that era also, you look at the stretch of WrestleManias, not one bad WrestleMania. The stretch of WrestleManias in that era is the best that WWE's ever had in the company's history. From WrestleMania 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Consistently, year by year, a very good or even legendary iconic WrestleManias within that time frame that we still haven't seen still to this day from that time, from that era. So the WrestleManias hold a lot of weight. You look at the iconic feuds that we had, Cena, Edge, Undertaker, Batista, Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle, like some of the best feuds and matches that the company ever had that we still talk about still to this day. The B-level pay-per-views were also very good at the time. You could watch a No Mercy and get your money's worth. You could watch an Armageddon and get your money's worth, an Unforgiven and get your money's worth. Like the B-level shows actually matter within that time frame. They were also very good at giving superstars chances, which you don't really see from that era, especially when those NXT guys came up to the main roster. They may have very good NXT careers, but once they got to the main roster, it was very hit or miss of how certain people were going to be utilized and how they were going to be pushed. They took chances on guys like Benoit. They took chances on guys like Eddie Guerrero, guys like JBL, guys like Edge, other guys who weren't really established, top talent, but they took chances to help create stars within the era. Booker T, I feel like that's also very important that NXT wasn't able to do, which really wasn't their fault once they got to the main roster because they're not the ones booking the shows. But when it comes to creating legendary, iconic stars, I don't feel like there's too many people you can point out from that era compared to the Ruthless Aggression era. Like a lot of people from that time frame went on to become big icons. I think there's a difference between being a superstar and then turning yourself into a legend.
Yeah, and you also want to add on the entertainment aspect of it as well. It wasn't just about the in-ring work. It wasn't just about like the serious, deep storytelling. It actually had a lot of entertaining segments. I mean, if you had Vince McMahon on your screen, 9 times out of 10, you're getting something entertaining. They pushed the envelope a lot, which obviously you could do a lot more back then than you could in 2018. But just on a random Monday night, you might just see Ron Simmons in the cut saying "damn" like for no reason. That's some wild shit. Like from an entertainment aspect, because it is sports entertainment. Like it wasn't just always about the in-ring work. You would get something that would make you laugh, then you could find a banger match. And you want to talk about the feuds that we had. We also had the feud like Batista and Triple H. That is a generational feud that created not just a legend in professional wrestling, but we also got to remember these stars that they created went on beyond wrestling. Batista is now a Hollywood star. He's solidified in acting right now. Talk about John Cena. John Cena is the same way. So NXT did a great job of establishing wrestlers, but I think the Ruthless Aggression era did a better job at preparing wrestlers to go on to bigger and better projects. I mean, Brock Lesnar, this man was in WWE for like 2 years, went on to NFL, UFC, then he came back a much bigger star. That WWE run alone helped his star power in outside adventures. And that's what the Ruthless Aggression era did so well for a good amount of guys. And NXT Black and Gold did a good job making them wrestlers, but like Malik said, man, these guys went on to be icons. They went on to be Hall of Famers, like household names. And that's our point.
How much time we got left, so we know?
Got just over a minute.
Okay, we can go ahead and go into rebuttals then. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and move into our rebuttal round. So this is going to be a 5-minute round where the two teams are able to go back and forth. And then I'll make sure to keep you guys abreast of how much time. We'll start with Lynn and G. 5 minutes starts now.
So 2 things I want to bring up so I can give y'all time. First off, I do agree. I understand y'all's point with them making them icons, right, and outside of wrestling. But one thing I do want to bring up about NXT that I personally feel, I feel like NXT Black and Gold changed the landscape of the wrestling business as a whole. I truly believe if NXT Black and Gold isn't as successful as it is and people wanting to be there, AEW doesn't happen. If NXT was their alternative and AEW was more like, hey, let's build another alternative that's a little bit bigger that isn't under the landscape of Vince McMahon while they're there. My second point that I do want to bring up, the women. Yep. The women, I think Rhea Ripley, Sasha Banks at the time, Bayley, Charlotte, all of them are household names partly due to NXT. Yes, they had to get to the main roster and still do that there, but we're not talking about them the way they are if we don't have that women's evolution, which is our direct influence from NXT.
And let me say, it does not matter what happens after they leave NXT. Like, you can bring up those points, but it doesn't matter because the question is talking about NXT as a whole. We're talking about the specific era. So what happens post does not matter. It matters what happens in NXT. And in NXT, these people were superstars. The work rate better than the Ruthless Aggression era. And Nate is right. The Ruthless Aggression era did have comedy, but so did NXT. NXT from Tyler Breeze's comedy. They mentioned Benoit, so I'm gonna mention Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream had incredible comedy. I wasn't gonna mention it, but they mentioned Benoit and they mentioned Brock Lesnar. Problematic, but we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about the eras themselves. And like I'm saying, it doesn't matter what happens after. It matters what happens during. A lot of their points was talking about to down us was about what happens after. It doesn't matter what happens after. It matters what happens now. And like G said, they can't mention women. They can't even talk about women. They can't. Because what they gonna talk about? Bra and panties? We talk about real women's wrestling. NXT Black and Gold. G, you got anything else? Or are we done?
No, you got it. Y'all got it.
3 minutes.
Go ahead. I'll let you go first. Since I went first.
I mean, okay, let's talk about what happened when these guys were in WWE. I mean, these guys in the Ruthless Aggression era became household names. And Black and Gold, as much as we want to, as much they were household names amongst the internet. But if you went on the street and asked someone who Adam Cole is, ain't nobody gonna know who Adam Cole is. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be like, who the fuck is that? And be like, he's a wrestler. Like, I've never heard of him. But back in 2006, if you went on the street, be like, who's Batista? Like, oh, that's the dude I've seen on TV on WWE. Who's John Cena? Oh, that's the WWE champion. Oh, who's Randy Orton? So on and so forth. So I feel like if you want to talk about I mean, the Ruthless Aggression stars, which is by default just bigger names on paper and just in the world than they were NXT. That's just the way that it was presented. And yeah, I mean, I'll give y'all the women's division, but again, man, you got household Hall of Fame names: Batista, John Cena, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, Edge, Undertaker, Kane, Shawn Michaels, Triple H. Like, I feel like that outweighs anything that any division in NXT.
I also feel like too, when it comes to the quality, I feel like the Ruthless Aggression era, bar for bar, could match everything NXT did. Like, Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle can match any match from the NXT Black and Gold era on paper. Like, that's considered a top 3 WrestleMania match, maybe of all time. Like, you still got the Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano and Johnny Wrestling stuff, but like Shawn Michaels from that time frame at WrestleManias was putting on entertaining matches with 60-year-old Vince McMahon, was putting on entertaining matches with John Cena, who was known at the time for many people that he couldn't wrestle. That was a segment at that time. Was Cena can't wrestle, and Shawn Michaels was putting on banger matches with many different guys with many different styles. So I feel like when it comes to the match quality, NXT had high standard matches too and high feuds, but bar for bar, the Ruthless Aggression era could match everything that era did.
So my reply to that would be, I actually do agree with you. I just think when you look at degree of difficulty that NXT had to face as well, again, one show for 1 hour. They didn't have 2 shows for 2 hours across a week. It was one show for 1 hour for most of that time. And even when they did go to 2 hours, it was still one show.
Go ahead, G.
No. That plus obviously the stain that WWE had, not to their fault at all, but the stain that WWE already had being in that PG era, I think that degree of difficulty, which is why I would say they were able to do a lot more with less.
And just to add on to G real quick, I'm gonna let you go, Nate. The NXT stars were NXT stars. I understand Ruthless Aggression. You had Shawn Michaels, you had Kurt Angle, you had Triple H, but they are carryovers from the Attitude Era. That has to matter, Jade. When you look at NXT was solely NXT, they're very top heavy. They can't go into specific Ruthless Aggression guys outside of the Cenas, the Edge. It's very top heavy. They have to call on the Attitude Era guys.
So let me just say real quick. That's time. But now, since G and Lynn picked their topic, Nate and Malik get the final words. They now get 90 seconds uninterrupted, and there will be no more debates after this.
Well, there's also top-heavy guys in NXT as well, like Samoa Joe. He wasn't an NXT built guy. He came from TNA. Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn. Like, these guys were indie guys before NXT. They weren't built under that resume too. So there were top-heavy guys within that time frame too. Not everybody was built up from NXT. But also one thing that I got to point out, as great as NXT Black and Gold was, we also have to remember there was still a big portion of the audience who didn't watch. A lot of people still weren't watching NXT at that time. They weren't familiar with people when they came up to the main roster. Post to Ruthless Aggression, people weren't missing episodes of Raw and SmackDown. They weren't missing that time frame. Everybody who was watching in that time, unless you had tapped out before the Attitude Era, you were watching within that time frame. NXT, there were still a lot of people that we've talked about for years, like, oh, how come you're not watching NXT, but you're watching Raw and SmackDown? Some people weren't really tapped in with NXT like that. No matter how good it was or no matter how great they heard it was, they still weren't watching.
Yeah, and also I wanted to say, like, you want to talk about degree of difficulty. I mean, Ruthless Aggression Era literally had to follow the Attitude Era. Like, and they had to make they had to make two separate shows. They had to top themselves from the Attitude Era, which was already difficult enough to do. You were losing Austin, you were losing Rock, and you were bringing up new guys. You were creating guys like you're turning Bradshaw into
30
JBL.
seconds.
You were turning one of the Rascals into a world champion. You're taking chance on Eddie Guerrero. Like that, it wasn't easy. Like, yeah, it was still WWE, but at the same time, you were changing literally the landscape of the biggest company in the world. So you want to talk about degree of difficulty. I think transitioning from the hottest era in wrestling to a different era with newer guys and changing these guys and changing their gimmicks and everything, I think that's equally as hard as well.
All right, that's time. Great job, guys. Listen, and for anyone who in chat who thinks that as the judge or whatever that I might have a little bit of bias, there's a reason that I chose this topic, and that's because these are my two favorite eras of all time. I mean, hot take, I would rank both of these eras above the Attitude Era in terms of quality. So do with that what you will. And you guys, every point that I expected you to hit on was hit. And Lynn, you said what happens after doesn't matter. Well, I'm the judge, goddammit, and I say it has to matter a little bit. It has to matter a little bit. And
I was just trying to argue with.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. And the fact that the in-ring quality is sort of a wash, even though you may give a slight edge to the Black and Gold era, the star power difference between the two, in my opinion, whether it was happening then or even if you do look at what happened after, and you got guys like Randy Orton who are still competing in WrestleMania main event level.
Oh,
I was about to say, was it just me? Because nobody else.
Nah,
That happened
me
during.
there you
Okay,
go.
good.
You back, Jade?
Oh, he froze again.
Froze again. Oh damn.
Damn it, Mo.
What happened?
It's always him, bro.
Oh, he laughed for a
No
second.
hacking the system, man.
I think he might be good now, Jay.
Am I back? Okay, that was
Yeah.
weird. Anyway, long story short, great points on both sides. I got to give it to the Ruthless Aggression Era side. I'm sorry, Lynn and G. And the reason I'm doing that is strictly because I think when you compare what happened during both, it's a little bit of a wash because, yeah, the women for the Ruthless Aggression Era wasn't great, but the star power of the men for the Ruthless Aggression Era was so good. And the point that I sort of kept coming back to and making my decision is what Nate said about when you walk down the street and ask somebody who's John Cena. Everyone at that time knew who John Cena was, whereas maybe 1 out of every 5 or 10 people would have known who Finn Balor, Adam Cole, etc. was. So, but again,
I will say too,
that's complete picking hairs.
Nate's counterpoint to my degree of difficulty was a really good one.
I wish we got a rebuttal to that.
Because
Yeah,
because I was really trying to hammer on the fact like these niggas have 1 hour of television to work with.
Which is still crazy.
Yeah, like when you really think about it, they have 1 hour of television to work with.
That one almost got me, G.
And then when he made his counterpoint, I was like, yeah, we're not winning.
Yeah, you're right.
Because that is a hard error to follow. So
Yeah.
I was like, we're not winning.
That's it.
So Malik and Lynn, God, I can't remember fucking names right. Malik and Nate have the ball in their
He is a
court for
dad.
this next one. This next one's kind of funny, and this is just one that I want to hear the arguments for. We're gonna debate who was the better overall comedic gimmick career, R-Truth or Santino Marella. So again, Malik and Nate, you guys can either pick your side or you can defer the choice and have the last word at the end. What do you want to do?
Let's see.
This is very much 50-50.
Yeah, for sure.
It really is, bro. It's really.
You rather go him?
You wanna? You good with that?
You can go either one.
It's really either one. I mean, it's.
This would be
kinda
my
biased.
hold on.
And for chat, this isn't necessarily about who was funnier. This is how they choose to frame the argument. So that's what's going to make it interesting.
I'm about to say because they both had me in tears.
They both
both so
have
funny,
you.
bro.
Absolutely.
Is that real? Chat might be raised. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Hold on.
Oh damn, they talking about Cody Rhodes hurt?
That's what I said. Let me make
What?
sure they're not rage. Let me make sure they're not rage baiting me.
Nah.
No, I ain't seeing nothing, so that could be
Yeah.
rage bait.
Yeah, that would be the first thing I would see when I type in his name.
They're trying to get you. They're trying to get you in, bro.
Yeah, you see the shirt I got it on. Let me go to Fightful because Sean Ross.
Nah, that's
That
not.
would be
That's,
my only.
nah, he's
That
fine.
would be
He's
my
fine.
only rebuttal.
Y'all gonna have to show me where y'all saw that.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, there's
reputable.
absolutely nothing.
Okay. I'm trying to think, bro. So you really can't go wrong. You know what? Yeah, we can go. We can go. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, we're gonna take
Yeah,
our
let's go
truth.
to it.
You're gonna take R-Truth. Okay. All right. So Malik and Nate are going to defend R-Truth as the greatest comedic career in WWE history. They will go first. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. 6 minutes starts now.
All right, so we're gonna defend R-Truth as more comedic than Santino because realistically, I think R-Truth might have more comedic moments than Santino does, especially when it comes to matches. I mean, you think of the Royal Rumble ladder match spot, the Royal Rumble tag team spot that he had a couple years ago. I mean, realistically, his comedic arc is so good. They literally brought him back with a serious character and then changed it right back to a comedic character because people were just more familiar with that side of R-Truth. And it really connected with him, connected with the audience a lot authentically. If you saw when they released R-Truth or he didn't resign, how many superstars have we seen get released over the last many years? And we've never seen an uproar like that when it came to R-Truth. We never saw people have that backlash, not even the Karrion Kross movement. When people was talking about, oh, we standing with Karrion, they need to resign him. When R-Truth said he wasn't coming back to WWE, they literally had to bring him back due to the fans reacting and say, y'all can't get rid of R-Truth, bro. It's impossible. y'all need to bring him back. That's not okay. You think about his stuff with Carmella too. Like Carmella was looking important on TV for a little bit just by being alongside R-Truth. He was one of the few people that actually made the 24/7 title interesting when he had it, however many times he did, bro. Like R-Truth's comedic arc, you literally can put him in any aspect of comedy with the women superstars, the tag teams. He can get beat up in the ring. He could be in a serious storyline. He helped make the Judgment Day stuff entertaining at one point too. Like there's so many different things you could do with R-Truth from a comedic aspect, and he'll just find a way to make it work. He made Brock Lesnar crack on TV.
Yeah, that's one thing that's very important to any aspect of performance, but especially comedy, because it's like key to any joke, is your commitment to the bit. And I think R-Truth committed to the bit so freaking well for so long. He did so well that, like Malik said, once he got released, like people going up were in an uproar over a man who was past 50, who since 2000, I would say 12, had just been a comedy act. Like did nothing more, nothing of main event level, and they were in an uproar because he was so beloved. He was so good at his job because people laughed at him because he committed to the bit. I'm not saying Santino didn't commit because my God, that brother could commit, had me in tears. But the way R-Truth commits, he will make you believe that the Royal Rumble has turned into a tag team match, has turned into a ladder match. That, oh, wait, can Truth actually come in the Women's Royal Rumble? Can he actually do that? Like, he will turn any situation. He came out on Raw saying, "I'm going to slice through this Money in the Bank like hot knife through butter." Like, is he in the match? Oh, he's not. Oh, he's just confused. Like the moments that he has, it's also like his facial expressions, the way he says things, like it's the little things you notice from R-Truth, like especially if you look at the Judgment Day stuff, like just him coming in behind, holding the tag team title with the Judgment Day. Like he didn't have to say a word. He just held it, he smiled, and I'm like, this guy, fucking idiot. He's so hilarious. But that would be my main argument is Truth's commitment to the bit. I don't think I've seen a comedic character commit to the bit quite like R-Truth. There's very, very few in the wrestling industry who can commit to a bit like R-Truth.
How much time is on the?
2:25.
Okay, so you want to make some more points, or you want to let them go?
We can let him go.
All right,
Well, I mean, let me ask you about this since you got 2 minutes, Malik. What about outside of the comedic stuff? Where do you rank kind of, or how do you evaluate R-Truth's actual in-ring career outside of the comedic stuff?
So if they actually let him be like Ron Killings, like he was in TNA, R-Truth could have been like a world heavyweight champion for sure in WWE. If they really like, because he had the charisma, he's got the look. Like, if for people who never saw him in TNA, if you're not familiar with like that side of him, he could really be a world heavyweight championship type guy. I felt if they wanted to put him in that aspect. I think 2011 showed that as well when he turned with the little Jimmy stuff and everything. And that's another comedy side of R-Truth as well. Like, you got an invisible guy over somebody who's not real. He literally has said on multiple occasions that when he's done photo ops and meet and greets, people ask to take a picture with little Jimmy by himself. That's how over that thing got. People just wanted to take a picture with little Jimmy, an invisible person, and not R-Truth. That's how over that. That's how I got it.
You got a minute left, Nate. You got any follow up?
I never heard that, bro.
That's crazy.
I remember him
hilarious.
in an interview on a podcast. He literally said that little Jimmy was so over that when he would do photo ops and meet and greets, people would just request to take pictures with little Jimmy by himself.
Then they want a toy. Then they want to make a toy.
He wanted an invisible action figure. Like they wanted to go all in. I got the T-shirt in my closet.
Bro, you know how you could actually sell that today if they released that shit. Like you could actually sell that for like a good amount of
sell a T-shirt of little Jimmy and it's just blank.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
30 seconds. Any closing points?
We'll let them go.
All right.
We'll let them go, man.
I love R-Truth. All right, guys. So now G and Lynn need to convince me that Santino Marella had a better comedic career than R-Truth. You guys ready?
And we're ready. Sorry.
Yeah,
go,
G.
go.
Let's.
And so we love R-Truth, but we also gotta love Santino. R-Truth got little Jimmy over. Santino got a sock puppet over.
Facts.
And it was one of the most protected finishes ever. It was one of the most protected finishes ever.
R-Truth
is making
without the sock puppet of the Cobra.
Right.
Mr. Iguana, yep.
R-Truth is making Brock Lesnar break character. Santino's making John Cena break character. And Batista break character.
And Sheamus.
Oh my gosh.
And he
We
was
talk
so
about
good.
moments.
And wait, real quick, G. Santino was so good that Vince McMahon trusted him to work with Stone Cold, and he's making Stone Cold and Vince McMahon laugh early in his day. Go ahead, G.
We talk about comedic moments. The Tea Party with Sheamus. The Tea Party with Sheamus, where they had to get back on track like twice in that same segment. And the fact we talk about like your facial expressions, Santino never really broke himself either.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would always able to I know R-Truth good too, but Santino would like have niggas dying, crying.
And we talk about
And was able to
committing
just
to the
push
bid.
through and get through. So they're both committed to the bit. But man, Santino, over the years, he with guys like Cena, Batista, all the way he would be able to mispronounce names. The fact that he got a sock puppet over, the fact that he was able to be in a tag team with Kozlov and make that over, which, let's be real, we know who was carrying that.
The fastest Rumble exit moment, Santino, and it was amazing. And then
he got over his own. He was so beloved. We talk about beloved. You know how many people still to this day think he should have won Rumble over Alberto Del Rio?
They wanted
and was
him to
damn near rooting for him to beat Daniel Bryan in the chamber.
Yep. And then,
I do. Absolutely.
Malik talked about committing to the bit. R-Truth definitely commits to the bit, but let's not act like Santino wasn't cool with being a woman for so long and committed to that damn bit, bro. We talk about commit to a bit. That's committing to a bit. And then
didn't he won the whole Divas or
And we want to talk about long term. Look, R-Truth's not really doing nothing today. Let's call it spade a spade. He's not doing nothing today. But if you watch TNA and you want to watch the Director of Authority, Santino, baby, he is killing it in TNA, and it's absolutely amazing. One of the best moments of TNA. And look, I wouldn't have brought this up, but y'all brought it up, so I have to say it. Yes, R-Truth 100% could have been a heavyweight champion. Like when he won the NWA as Ron Killings, he was the fucking man. I think his comedy gimmick hurt him. And as great as it is, I think it hurt him the person. Because when you look at what he wanted to do coming back, he cut his dreads. He wanted to be serious. WWE wanted to keep the comedic character. R-Truth, the man himself, might be hurt by it. Meanwhile, the director of Authority is out there throwing jokes still to this motherfucking day. But, you know, we love R-Truth, but does R-Truth himself, is he happy with it still to this day? I don't know.
Man, when I really just want to focus on the fact that when I think of Santino, obviously these are both beloved characters. They both
Facts.
probably top 2 comedy characters.
They're the
And
best.
they're probably not getting anywhere else close to it, right? But when I think of Santino, man, the fact that especially like when you look at R-Truth, I think you look at R-Truth coming in, you probably thought he had more potential just off a baseline than you did Santino, right? I think R-Truth, like you said, Nate, he before 2012, he wasn't really a comedy guy. He was a tag team guy, kind of singles. He had his little heel run when he smoking cigarettes, which I don't care if he was a comedy gig or not. That was hilarious.
That was
Smoking cigarettes in the middle of the day. That was hilarious. But man, Santino, it's like, no matter what, when Santino gets on your screen, he about to make you cry laughing and there's nothing you can do about it.
And
R-Truth has that same effect. But something about Santino, man, it's just, especially because he got that accent with it too. Yeah. Especially because he got the accent. So it's believable that you're going to mess up those names, even though I know you're doing it on purpose.
And nobody expected Santino to win. Like Nate said, R-Truth had a promising career. Santino made that shit from nothing, baby. Santino was taking shit and turning it into sugar.
And gave Beth Phoenix probably her
best match?
Best run? Second best run, maybe? Like Beth Phoenix, serious glamazon. Killing it with this nigga Santino. So, yeah.
You got a final minute here. You got anything else you want to bring up?
I'm good.
We're good.
All right. We'll start the 5-minute rebuttal period, starting with Malik and Nate.
All right. So one thing you brought up that I definitely want to point out, you mentioned that it hurt R-Truth's career. We also got to remember, we've had Santino on the pod. Santino's whole gimmick wasn't supposed to be comedy. He said he was a jiu-jitsu guy. That was his whole background. That's how he trained and everything in wrestling. That's what he thought his entire aspect of wrestling was going to be. So if he wasn't given that comedy gimmick, we don't know what he could have turned out to be either. He could have turned out to have a higher ceiling as well. So I just want to point that out right there. That's the one thing I wanted to say, and I'll let Nate go.
I mean, y'all made a lot of great points with Santino and all that, but I kind of feel like the whole like we wanted him to win and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that's cool and all, but like I feel like when you talk about when the company let Truth go, I feel like that's a bigger movement than Santino should have won the Rumble all those years ago. I feel like people like immediately being like, nah, we can't let this slide. Not this guy who's been making us laugh for like damn near over a decade at this point. Mm-hmm. And like I said, they're on the same level comedically, but again, I will hammer down on R-Truth's facial expressions. If you really look at his facial expressions and the extra stuff that he does, I think from a comedic standpoint, he edges out Santino, not by a lot. I think they're both very good, but I think where Santino has the accent, I think Truth has the facial expressions and the little things that he does in a scene.
I think Santino got the facial expressions too. The whole getting ready for the Cobra, how serious he looked with it. No one got that, and the power walking down the ramp, like
bro. And I've never seen him make a unibrow do these multiple different up downs. That's a unibrow, bro. Like that's facial expressions. And look, Malik makes a good point because I watched that interview about the jiu-jitsu thing. That's real. He could have possibly been that, but I'm saying this. R-Truth, we know he wanted to be serious after cutting those dreads. Santino had opportunities to go serious, but as we see in TNA, he wanted to continue the comedic gimmick, and he loves that. I don't know if I can definitively say Truth loves it post, just based upon post what we know he wanted to do in being Ron Killings.
I mean, I would say that Truth definitely loves it, though. I feel like he wouldn't have come back. Part of the reason if he didn't love that, like the fan, that's part of the reason why the fans loved him too, was because of that. Like not even just the fans, but his peers, people that he worked with in the locker room. Like they were even like online saying like, what is this? Like R-Truth is, I can't get rid of him, bro. Like he one of the locker room guys. Like he's one of those guys that every coworker wants to work with. He's one of those type of individuals that everybody loves to be around. Everybody wants to work with. Like I also feel like too, when we're talking about stories, that Judgment Day storyline really got revived because of R-Truth for a minute. Like, R-Truth, that Judgment Day storyline was kind of running its course and everything, and they were hot on TV, but when they inserted R-Truth was kind of like the Sami Zayn of that story, like how he was for the Bloodline. Not to the highest level, the Bloodline obviously peaked higher, but for a little bit, R-Truth was helping making that storyline a lot more entertaining on TV, opposed to them just being another faction where they had other titles and stuff. And like, all right, Judgment Day's here, but like R-Truth was actually one of the more entertaining parts of that story that people looked forward to for quite a while. And it wasn't ever meant to last long. It played its course, and I think it played it very well. Both guys are very good. You can go neck and neck with the comedic aspect from R-Truth to Santino. I think both guys do it very, very well. Both guys have broken people on TV. Both guys have been a part of some good stories. Both guys, have been able to show what they could do from a comedic aspect. But on paper, when you compare them both, I think a lot of people connected with R-Truth a little bit more than Santino.
And just to rebuttal, the stuff with the locker
Final
room,
minute.
that stuff is true, but that's not about the comedic character. That's about R-Truth, the man. And I know that when R-Truth was coming back, he wanted to be the serious guy. He wanted to be Ron Killings, and that's why he cut the dreads, and that's why, like, after he went on interviews talking about how, yeah, you're going to see Ron Killings now. So just to say that, and then storylines, the Judgment Day, yeah, that's true. But Santino's embracing storylines and uplifting them now. When you look at the stuff with the system at TNA, he made, the intrigue of the system versus Santino and who Santino can throw at them. He made that very, very entertaining. He made some of that stuff watchable. You look at what he's doing right now with Daria Ray, bringing back, I can't think of her WWE name, but Sonya Deville. The battle that he's having with Sonya Deville right now, that's making TNA TV so much more watchable. If you look at the ratings of TNA before Santino, it was okay, but post Santino, it got even higher. I'm not crediting him for the boom of TNA, but he's 100% a part of what TNA is growth right now.
Okay, so that's it. That's the 5-minute rebuttal. However, since you guys didn't get to pick your topic, you do have an additional 90 seconds uninterrupted if you have any further points you want to make right now, G and Lynn.
I'll just say, obviously, these two guys, like I said earlier, top two comedic characters. They've always had me crying, always had me in tears. I do think Santino has the slightest edge, only just because it's kind of like just the same points Nate has made. I just think it more goes to Santino. I think facial expressions when he's messing up people's names or just having his comedic time, I think his facial expressions, I think especially with his accent as well, that kind of, even though that's not Drew's fault, I think it just kind of helps him a little more. The power walk, the fact that he got a little, the sock puppet over. I mean, shoot, I feel like Mr. Iguana is literally a direct, like, what's the phrase? Like, tribute, homage to what Santino was doing with the Cobra. Like
Chelsea
I said,
Green talked about her trying to exit the Rumble early was her homage to Santino. So people are still paying homage to him.
Yeah, I just think it's a slight edge. I think you can go either way. If you ask me what I really think outside of this debate, I still wouldn't be able to tell you. One day I might say Truth, one day I might say Santino, but I think Santino gets a slight edge in that aspect, like the facial expressions. I think timing is also equal. It's pretty much a wash, and it's not Truth's fault, but I think that accent as well kind of helps him.
And him never breaking, I think that was a big thing you said, Nate. Santino made people break, but he never broke. There's times you could catch Truth laughing at his shit. It's funny and it's okay. It's not there's nothing wrong with that. It's Truth. We accept it now. But Santino not breaking. And if you can tell me how he gets his unibrow to go up, down, left, right, I'll tell you something.
All right, that's it. Listen, the reason I came up with this one is because I'm watching Kit Wilson on SmackDown right now. And if they continue doing what they're doing with Kit Wilson for a couple years, Kit Wilson could go down as one of the greatest comedic characters ever. Now, obviously, I want Pretty Deadly to be successful, but if they decide to keep Kit Wilson doing what he's doing, and that's how it kind of got the thought in my head, guys, there's no wrong answer here. I mean, shit. I laughed through this whole debate just because I wanted you guys to remind me of all the funny shit that Santino and R-Truth did throughout their career. Well, I'm just going to say what I decided and then talk about why. I did go with Team Santino, so that's where and there were 2 points that drove it home for me. Number one was the career renaissance in TNA. If we're talking about total career, the career renaissance in TNA does stick with me a little bit. And then just there was never a moment, even though R-Truth had funny moments in things like the Royal Rumble and things like that. There was never really a moment where you felt like he was going to win it. Those moments of Santino almost winning the Rumble and almost winning the Chamber are just such standout moments to me. And so I think those are the two things. But again, just like G, you wake me up tomorrow and remind me of a bit that R-Truth had 5 years ago, and I'm probably going to change. I'm going to change my fucking mind. So I'm going to go with Team Santino today. Great job, guys. I love those guys so much. They're so fucking funny. All right, so the next one, G and Lynn. The next topic is, what was the bigger WWE missed opportunity? The Cesaro section in 2014 or Rusev Day in 2018? And again, just like you guys can pick the side that you want to take, or if you think it's a wash and you want to have the last word, you can defer the choice. So what do you want to do?
Just to confirm, so we are going with Rusev Day. That is the one we are picking.
Okay. All right. So you guys will go first, G and Lynn.
Rusev Days. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say whenever you're ready, go ahead.
I bet. Rusev Day, another technical comedy gimmick that started off, Aiden English doing, or the him getting the medal, with Aiden English doing the singing. If you would have told me, especially at this time, WWE, that moment would turn into one of the bigger moments and exciting moments that everybody was already seeing on the TV, I would have been like, man, get this off my screen and keep it pushing. That segment was actually very entertaining, and it started something that I feel got so massively over. You think now modern day WWE, Trick Williams entrance over, Jey Uso over, all that stuff that goes on. And when you think back to Rusev Day, you can almost argue it's probably bigger than both, right? Jey Uso, I know he got the Rumble, he got the world title win for sure, right? But when you look at Rusev Day, it was around that time. It was going on. They were screaming Rusev Day in matches that he wasn't even on TV for. Like, that's how big Rusev Day was. And it was such a fumble because they literally started it off so great. They didn't rush it. They let it organically build. He was outselling people's merch. His own stuff was selling out.
I got the facts for that, G.
And then for you to do nothing after that? Like, if I'm not mistaken, I could have but I'm almost positive Bobby Roode won a U.S. title before Rusev Day did, when they was flip-flopping it back and forth. Back when, let's be real, Bobby Roode was nowhere near what he should have been, nor Rusev Day himself. I even think Jinder won one. I think that was around that same time frame.
Yeah.
Like, seriously? Like, y'all could... I get it. You don't want to give Rusev Day the World Heavyweight title. We get it. We know how it was. AJ had the thing at the time. I get it. He couldn't have a U.S. title run? And a good one, nevertheless? Like, you mean to tell me Rusev Day couldn't have been your top mid-card act on SmackDown at the time?
And then when you look at it, Rusev outsold stars like Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, John Cena, all the top stars when Rusev Day was at his height in late 2017, early 2018. Rusev outsold them. So much so that Vince McMahon thought it was a fluke. Vince McMahon didn't believe it. And this is according to Rusev on CVV. They were trying to push him as the next heavyweight champion, and they cited things like the merch sales and how he's beating out Roman Reigns, John Cena, AJ Styles. Vince McMahon thought it was just because they didn't have fresh stuff at the time for people to buy, so they thought they wanted to buy Rusev stuff. Also, the sales were so strong that he got pushed out of the Andre the Giant battle royale into the United States Championship match at WrestleMania 34. It was that big. Like, the only reason why he didn't get the world heavyweight shot is because of Vince McMahon. But the sales were there, the fans were there, the gimmick was there.
And it's not like Rusev couldn't go in the ring either at this time. Like, I get he might not have the little chisel physique he did when he became Miro. But it's not like Rusev couldn't go either. It's not like that little accolade he was putting people in still wasn't devastating.
Facts.
Right? Like, it's such a shame because let's just be real. If Jey Uso can take his entrance all the way to a world title, tapping out Gunther, you can't give Rusev Day a U.S. title. It's just such a shame. Cesaro, we know Cesaro's it's not even probably, he is the better in-ring performer, right? Cesaro was great at his time. The Cesaro section was definitely a thing. It ain't hit Rusev Day level.
Nowhere
There
near.
was
as
definitely
popular.
papers in the thing saying Cesaro section. It wasn't here Rusev Day level.
And
Cesaro section wasn't getting chanted in other people's matches when he wasn't on TV. Rusev Day was.
And according to WrestlingNews.com, it's and I got these notes in my notes. It was the Happy Rusev Day that was not just a top seller. It was the number one selling in late 2017, early 2018, outselling specifically the one who gets it done, AJ Styles, and the Usos down since day one ish. So those were the other top shirts at the time. Jade.
90 seconds left, guys. Anything else you want to point out?
We're good. We can pass it.
Okay. All right. Over to Nate and Malik. Why was Cesaro WWE's biggest missed opportunity? Whenever you're ready to start.
All right. Well, I think I know Cesaro's connection with the crowd, as great as Rusev Day is, and as great as that chant was, Cesaro's connection with the crowd was two things. One was a big fuck you to Vince because Vince thought that Cesaro could not be a top guy. So the fans said, "Oh, bet you don't think this great in-ring performer can't be a top guy," so people got behind him. But it wasn't just because like, oh, we hate this. Also, like, no, this guy's actually great. This guy can actually go in the ring. Like, have you not been watching the product for the past, like, at that point, 2 years? You know, this guy was having great matches, and so it was so good. He was so good they broke him away from the Real Americans, and they put him with Paul Heyman, which a lot of people tend to forget. They put him with Paul Heyman. Looking in hindsight, probably not the best idea because when you saw Paul Heyman, you thought Brock Lesnar because Brock just ended the streak. But that shows how high Cesaro could have been if they actually would have capitalized on his momentum. But yeah, his connection to the audience was because of his in-ring work, not because of a catchphrase. Even though like Rusev Day was great, and I'm all for a great catchphrase, Cesaro was able to have great matches week in, week out, no matter who it was against, whether it was a random mid-carder or whether it was John Cena. The guy could have a banger match with anybody on the roster. He had a great look. He wasn't terrible on the mic. Sure, he wasn't, a CM Punk level or John Cena level on the mic, but he could still cut. I think he could have cut a decent promo if they gave him enough time. They put him, with the right caliber guy. But I think Cesaro is a bigger missed opportunity because I also think if you really want to look at these two guys and their qualities and what they bring to the table, I think Cesaro personally has more to bring as a higher on the card guy, as a top guy, whether it be in the upper mid card or the main event. I think Cesaro personally brings more to the table, just by his look, his in ring work, what he can bring to a match, what he can bring to a feud, and that's my point. I'm gonna let Malik go.
I think what also helps Cesaro's case, people loved him despite maybe his lack of weaknesses. This was a couple years ago, or over a decade ago, so the crowd was a little bit different, but the people didn't care that Cesaro's promos may have been lackluster. They didn't care that his character may not have been that interesting. They loved him strictly because of what he could do in the ring, and they were begging for him to get a push. They gave him the Andre Battle Royal at Mania 30, eliminating Big Show in that shocking way, which was the first one ever, and then they put him with Paul Heyman the next day. Now, you could say Lesnar in the streak, all that stuff, but I feel like if you're going to debate his lack of promo skills, they literally solved that issue by putting him with the best promo guy in the game at the time. And if they really wanted to try to make it work and put the effort into it, they could have did at least some type of miles with that, with Paul Heyman being the promo guy and Cesaro doing everything else in ring to match it up. Bar for bar, probably the strongest guy they had in the company at the time too. And I think even John Cena vouched for him to get a push at one point. Cena was vouching to work with this guy and do stuff with him, to do something better with him at a higher level because he was that good. And WWE just chose to ignore it. Like, obviously they ignored Rusev Day. I just feel like Cesaro, when it comes to, he may not have had the bigger connection when it comes to the popularity wise, but I think his authentic ways is what really connected him with the audience by him being able to get over without really having an interesting character. Like his character pretty much was that he was a good wrestler, and people that was enough for people to buy into. Like, all right, we want to see this guy get utilized. They had a lot of good wrestlers on the roster too at that time frame, but for the simple fact that he was able to put on very good matches, like what Nate said, with the mid card guys, with the top level guys, they felt Cesaro had a bigger ceiling than what he was, and I think they missed on an opportunity by not using him in that higher standard. I also feel like too, you could probably debate maybe Rusev's heel run could have been bigger than his babyface run because he was doing great stuff as the Bulgarian Brute before Rusev Day and everything. Like he was the most dangerous guy in the company when he was undefeated at one point. You know, he was putting everybody in that submission, that accolade, and all that stuff. So you could maybe debate, even argue he could have had more potential as a heel opposed to a babyface. I think with Cesaro, they wanted to see him get that type of opportunity, and they wanted to see him get utilized and pushed. And I felt like they put him in certain positions, but they never really executed him the proper way because they just probably didn't believe in him or whatever the case was. Like I feel if you're gonna put him with Paul Heyman, you got to do something with that. I get that they put him with Paul Heyman to keep him fresh for Brock ending the streak, but we saw Paul Heyman work with Punk and Lesnar. So he proven that he can work with two guys, a full-time talent and a part-time guy at the same time. So if they wanted Cesaro and Paul Heyman to work out, I truly feel if they put the effort and stories into it, they could have made that work somehow.
1 minute left, guys. You guys want to use it?
No, we go ahead into the rebuttals. That's fine.
Okay, move into rebuttal phase. 5 minutes. G and Lynn starting now.
So the first point I'll bring up, even though I don't disagree with y'all as far as Cesaro goes, you actually kind of brought it up at the end, Malik. Yes, he was the Bulgarian Brute, dominant, and fell off a cliff to the League of Nations. You managed to revive him from that. After the League of Nations, after he was doing, you managed to revive him and get him to the point where now you can argue he's probably more over than he'd ever been after coming from Bulgarian Brute as a heel and then doing fuck all with the League of Nations. You revive him to a point where now he's probably the most over he's ever been. And you can't find nothing to do with that. Yes, I agree. Cesaro's connection with the crowd. He was a great wrestler. Nate, you were absolutely right. Vince didn't get to do it. The crowd said, fuck you. Right? And he's also a great in-ring performer. I do think Rusev, I think his connection to the crowd was just a little bit more. Yes, that the Rusev Day like chant was great, but I think people just like they felt Cesaro was underutilized and can be a top level. I think they already, with the knowledge of Rusev already being a top level heel,
Yep.
so they know he could go in the ring, they know he can move, they know he could cut a promo. He still had Lana with him, and now you have Aiden English. That now as a top babyface, an act that they can adore, I feel like that to me is a bigger fumble because of where he had to come from, where he was already falling. Like the League of Nations was so trash. Like I don't think people remember how bad that really was. And the fact that he recovered from that, it wasn't 3MB bad, but the fact that he recovered from League of Nations to being one of the most over acts in the company, that to me, that's why I feel like that's a bigger fumble because he was already kind of here, fell down to the pits of hell, and then made his way all the way back up here, and you still couldn't do something with that.
And I think it's
Make it real quick, Lings. We're 2 minutes in.
So Malik said about John Cena championing Cesaro. John Cena also championed Rusev. Rusev talked about it on the CVV podcast about how he learned everything from John Cena, how John Cena went to the higher ups to talk for him, to champion for him, and to get him into higher spots. So Rusev had the blessing of these top guys as well. And last thing, Jade, and I'm going to give it away. Malik brought up about the Bulgarian Brute. I think that shows that Rusev can take a lot of shit and turn it into sugar multiple times, whereas Cesaro really just had good matches. Rusev could tell good stories.
Okay.
Nate, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Yeah, I think if you just look at what Cesaro brings in the total package as a top guy, I think it overshadows Rusev. If I'm being honest, like I think Rusev is great. I just can't see Rusev in a spot where he is world championship material. As great as he is, and at that time period. Cesaro, on the other hand, I think he had the look, he had the support of the audience, he had the matches. Like literally, if you would have given him Paul Heyman, like Malik said, if they would have capitalized, they're able to split the two, because Brock was part-time, Cesaro was full-time. If you could have split between those two and like actually probably build to a possible Brock match as well, like I think that's a much bigger missed opportunity. Even if Cesaro lost and it was at like some pay-per-view like Elimination Chamber, Royal Rumble, like that could have been a star-making performance by for Cesaro. And I don't think Rusev ever really had that. He had that AJ Styles match, but he never had that like big money feud that you could look forward to, like you could really build towards to make him into a top star.
I think too, at the time that Rusev was getting pushed, I think WWE already had set in stone of who they wanted the top guys to be. They had Roman, they had Brock, and they had Seth. When Cesaro was his Cesaro section, they were looking for new guys at that time. Roman Reigns hadn't been established yet. He was still on the Shield at that time. Cena was still a top guy. Orton was still there. Daniel Bryan had got hurt too. Like, they needed some guys like that. Like, they needed some people to step up and fit in that mold. And they just really chose not to position Cesaro in that position, long term.
And can I rebuttal Jade real quick?
Yeah, go. You guys get the final word. So go
And
ahead.
I think that's because Cesaro, as great as a wrestler, he wasn't. You need more than just to be a good wrestler. You need to be able to talk. You need to be able to tell stories. And I don't know if Cesaro could do that as well as Rusev. And look, I know Nate talked about, ready to strike while the iron's hot. Well, Rusev, the iron was the hottest. And the merch sales show that he was outselling AJ Styles, outselling Roman Reigns, outselling every top guy in the company, to where if they push the button, they're going to capitalize way greater than they could have capitalized with Cesaro. Cesaro was one of the top guys, one of the top sellers. Rusev was the top seller at his time. G, go ahead.
And for me, for my final word, I think when you just look at it, I look at Jey Uso, because I remember the chat about before he even won that world title, how just give him the push. There's what's wrong with striking while the iron's hot. What's wrong with giving him the IC title? He's clearly super over. That was before he even won the Royal Rumble. Nobody was talking at that time. Everybody was like, just give him the IC, like bare minimum. He can win a mid card. Rusev ain't have to. AJ Styles was your WWE champion. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. You ain't got to give him that. But the fact that they did absolutely nothing, like zilch, zero, nada, to where it was like you couldn't even give a mid-card run, right? That's why I kind of look at it, and why I personally look at it as a bigger fumble. Yes, people wanted Cesaro to get that spot and have that run for sure, but I don't think it was to the level of a Rusev. And when you get to the level of a Rusev support and over, the fact that you do nothing with it, even mid-card wise, when anybody could have won the mid-card title in that era.
Also,
like, anybody could have won it. Like, Jinder had it.
You
like,
reminded me
Bobby
of
Roode had it, and Bobby Roode was nowhere near.
Final
so
30.
Like
Final 30.
The fans, and G made me think of this. Y'all said it numerous times, and Jade even laughed. The fans wanted Cesaro in there as a fuck you to Vince. It was this guy puts on great matches. We want him up there as a fuck you to Vince. Whereas the fans genuinely love Rusev for Rusev, not for a fuck you to Vince because this guy does good matches. No, we love this guy's character, his story, and everything he's doing. And I think the sales show that. Whereas if you look at the Cesaro stuff, it was, yeah, he does good matches, but we want this guy in there because fuck you, Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Great points, guys. Am I tripping, or am I misremembering? Or when Roman and Jinder tried to have that match at Money in the Bank, did they chant Rusev Day for half the match? Am I misremembering that?
They probably did.
I feel like they did. Also, do you guys remember when Cesaro nearly threw John Cena through the ceiling of the building when they?
Oh my gosh!
That was
Crazy show.
Those guys just had both of them, and here's the reason for me doing all of these topics, and this is why I wanted to do this, is because if you were to ask me all of these questions, right, these options that I'm giving you would be my top two answers. So I'm literally splitting hairs, and I wanted you guys to decide the argument for me. I think I did decide the argument, and I'm going to say why I did it, and then I'm going to say why. So I did go with Team Cesaro. Point goes to Team Cesaro. Here's why. And I didn't even think about this until I was listening to the debate just now. Because you guys mentioned everything that Rusev had, right? He had the phrase, he had the t-shirt, he had the sexy wife, he had the manager to cut all his promos for him. Cesaro didn't have any of that shit. He should have, but he didn't. And yet still, every week for several months before, during, and after WrestleMania, there was more C-section signs than anything else in the crowd. And even without all of that shit, he was still able to establish a connection with a crowd. And so while I think these two are both the top two missed opportunity bookings in the history of the company, in my opinion, based on that, I'm going to go with Cesaro. That's where I'm headed this time. All right. So 2 more. We move over to Malik and Nate. So we're going to pit what some people call the greatest WWE pay-per-view of all time versus what many people call the greatest AEW pay-per-view of all time. And we're going to hash it out on which one was better. So Malik and Nate, you guys can either pick Mania 40 to defend for your side, AEW All Out 2021, or again, defer the choice to the other side and take the last word.
We're deciding right now.
Okay.
Really could go either way, to be honest.
For real.
How y'all doing, chat? Y'all doing all right? Y'all enjoying the debate?
Yeah, we're all just texting
They're
each other.
taking part. I've got the they're taking part. They're kind of 50-50 on all these arguments so far. So.
Quick question. I don't know if we're gonna have this side or not. Are we allowed to ignore the buy-in, or that has to be part of it?
I don't even know what the buy-in was.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
so-
why I'm asking.
Yeah,
That's exactly why I'm asking.
Yeah, I would say that wouldn't really play a part in it.
Okay,
All
so
right,
right
cool,
when
cool,
it
cool,
starts.
cool.
Perfect. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I think one show had better moments, the other had better quality. So we just got to figure out. Oh no! Wait a minute.
I think you hit the nail right on the head, and that's why I. And even though Mania 40 was 2 nights, and you might think there's a disadvantage there, quite frankly, All Out could have been 2 nights.
The word.
I mean,
Word.
Right.
Almost every AEW pay-per-view
Yeah.
can do 2 nights. If we're really going there. Almost every AEW pay-per-view can do it.
especially now.
Oh yeah.
That second part that's the same show.
Yep.
Oh yeah, okay, we got that. We need to do that then, bro.
so
Yeah.
you're
You go. I'm gonna listen. I gotta get this restroom, but you can go first.
All right, we're gonna do AEW.
Okay,
Oh!
so Malik and Nate are choosing to defend AEW All Out 2021 as the greatest pay-per-view, or at least the best pay-per-view between these two. I'm going to turn my camera off and stretch my legs, but I am listening. Your 6 minutes starts now.
All right, so AEW All Out 2021 was probably the highest quality show that we had, especially for AEW at that particular time frame. We had CM Punk's first match back in however many years, which was pretty iconic and great. One of the greatest tag team matches we've ever seen with the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks in that steel cage. That legit, for many people, could probably be the best tag team match anybody's ever seen. I think when you're going bar for bar moments, WrestleMania had a high quality of moment, but when you compare matches and in-ring quality, I think AEW probably has the edge a little bit more, on top of having great moments as well. I mean, the ending of the show, we had Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson's debut all on one show. I mean, we kind of expected
crazy.
We kind of expected one guy to show up, but both of them, nobody was expecting that moment. That right there, that was the first moment that I think many people felt that AEW was like a legit contender to WWE at that point. That was the moment right there that I think struck the nerve of like, AEW is serious now. Like, some people still didn't want to believe it. Some people still didn't believe that AEW was at the same quality of WWE, because there's a lot of WWE hardcore fans out there who just refuse to acknowledge AEW. But that moment right there alone, I mean, it was already big enough that they got CM Punk. So getting CM Punk alone was already a huge step. But when they debuted Adam Cole, who was coming off that legendary NXT run, and then they debuted Bryan Danielson, who has been one of the best pure in-ring wrestlers in the world at that time, that right there, I think, is what took people like, oh no, AEW is for real. You couldn't deny him at that point. There was nothing you could say to anybody to try to downgrade AEW at that point as not taking them as serious contenders.
Yeah. And I'm gonna turn back the clock to I'm trying to remember how I felt watching, and just thinking about that live reaction to everything on the show, man. I remember the hype into the show because CM Punk was coming back, and AEW was actually putting on a really good show, weekly. And this was during the time NXT Black and Gold was NXT Black and Gold. I don't know if they were announcing that it was over at this point, they were transitioning, but definitely wasn't where it was
that's why
2 years ago. Yeah. So NXT Black and Gold was kind of on a decline, and AEW was a breath of fresh air. And then you watch this show, And I'm looking at the match card right now. I remember Eddie Kingston was, I mean, when is Eddie Kingston not over as fuck? But he was over as fuck. I redeemed these nuts. Like, that was the first match of the night. Incredible. Looking at Dr. Britt Baker over as hell. That was when, like, we really loved DMD. Freaking the Ray Phoenix and Penta versus the Young Bucks. I remember after the match, there was a sign that says, "This is why I love professional wrestling." I was watching with my friend. I was like, dude, that sign like literally speaks. We were like talking for like the first like maybe 10 minutes. They were like, wait, this match is actually really fucking good. We got to like actually like pay attention to this match. That's like one of, if not the best tag team matches of all time. And then I believe this was Ruby Soho's debut. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was her debut. Chris Jericho and MJF, incredible feud. That was when we actually like when everyone loved Chris Jericho. MJF was a rising star. CM Punk, of course, his first match back. I mean, who would have thought that we would have saw CM Punk in a ring? We could skip Paul White versus QT Marshall. And then Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. A lot of people talk about after the match, but that match itself was actually good. Like, it's Kenny Omega and Christian Cage. Like, that was a banger main event. That was a great way to close out the show. And you got Adam Cole come out, and I'm like, cool. Adam Cole, I expected Adam Cole because Kenny Omega was like, oh, yeah, anyone who wants to challenge me, they're either not here, they're retired, or they're dead. And I was like, and we looked at each other, we were like, oh, shit, it's Adam Cole. And Adam Cole, and the lights went out, Adam Cole came out. We were like, cool, oh, my God, it's Adam Cole. Holy shit, I still have the freaking video on my phone. And then we had another friend over. He went out smoked. And then we're like, oh, this is awesome. And then we hear Daniel Bryan. We're like, no fucking way. And the guy comes in, he's like, what's going on? I'm like, bro, it's Daniel Bryan. He's in AEW. Freaking arena blows. Oh, my God. Like, the face-off in the fight. I was like, what the fuck did we just see? Like, AEW is on the map. Like, AEW is a contender. They're on the level of WWE. Like, it was absolutely insane. This was after the pandemic, by the way, too. Like, this was like, I think this was their first show after the pandemic, too. Like, their first pay-per-view. After being in fucking wherever it was in Jacksonville, that stadium. Daly's Place, which was just it was incredible. It was one of the best pay-per-views I've ever seen in my life.
Final minute.
I think, and to compare it to WrestleMania, I think WrestleMania had a great main event. I'm going to touch on the fact that I think Cody versus Roman is the greatest match of all time. I still think that, but one match is not going to make an entire show better than the masterclass of just graps, moments, just incredible like back-to-back things that we got on this show.
Yeah, I mean, the last point, you look at the entire card, everybody was pretty much over at this time in AEW too. Like the Best Friends, you had Eddie Kingston, Moxley, like Britt Baker, the Lucha Bros, like MJF, Jericho. A lot of people were really over, and you could even debate Kenny Omega at this time probably still could have been the best wrestler in the world. That's when he was doing the belt collector stuff. I mean, Roman Reigns at the peak of Tribal Chief, but this one, Kenny Omega was like still considered to be one of the best in the world. So,
and I want to hit on Suzuki. I think he made his AEW debut on the show after to confront Moxley. That was fucking cool. I believe this was a show he did.
Yeah.
All right, that's time. Yeah, I remember obviously me being me, but still after that show, I remember I made a TikTok and I was like, guys, this is a big fucking deal. I don't know how else to say it. That show was a big fucking deal.
What if it was Dolph Ziggler instead of Daniel Bryan? How'd you feel?
I might have died.
He would have changed this debate. Because he would not. He's taking all out 2021 every time. Dolph Ziggler was the one that came out. He's not. This would have been a different.
I've said for years, all Tony Khan needs to do is bring Dolph on board, and I'm all in. I'm all in. Pun intended. Okay, all right, G and Lynn, 6 minutes to tell me why. Not, and again, this isn't necessarily what is the greatest pay-per-view of all time. It's just which one is better.
Yes.
Right. So between the two, tell me why WrestleMania 40 is better. Go.
So G, for me.
G, real quick, let me just say, All Out, 2 moments. Go ahead, G. I just gotta say, the Danielson Cole, 2 moments. Go ahead, G.
Well, I mean, I personally don't think it's just 2 moments. However, I do think WrestleMania 40, and I hope my son don't wake up right now. I do think WrestleMania 40, even though, yes, we're gonna talk about the 2 main events, night 1, night 2. One of the greatest main events we've ever seen. The amount of emotion that brought you out going into that WrestleMania with the context of the previous year's WrestleMania and the year-long story we built going into that. Right? But it's not even just that, though. it's not even just that, because Rhea Ripley, that show, was established as this is the face of our division now,
Yep.
or at least one of them, by beating Becky Lynch. I know she beat Charlotte the year prior, and that was cool, but as we've all talked about, she ain't really do nothing in the meantime. And then she got to Becky, and it was like, okay, this is some substance we can get behind, right? Then you look at The Miz and R-Truth. I think that was R-Truth's first WrestleMania win in his career or something like that. And the emotion we saw when he came down with the Raw Tag Team title, you could see it on his face. He was trying to hold back tears. And at the time, we know they didn't work out after. But we thought A-Town Down Under was actually going to get a push because they won the SmackDown titles. That was a big deal. We're not going to talk about Jey Uso and Jimmy. But Sami Zayn beating Gunther, just like y'all had Paul White, QT Marshall, which is worse. Jey Uso,
way
Jimmy,
worse.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We don't have to talk about Jey and Jimmy. We got to talk about Jey and Jimmy. But Sami Zayn, even though it was shocking, they did have a great match. Sami Zayn ending Gunther's IC title reign. That
Talk
was
about
a
incredible
big deal.
story. Like
A cash-in, mind you, and yes, I'm using the context of this show and this show only. A cash-in that happened that none of you thought was going to work, that none of you other than me thought was going to work, and it worked beautifully. You
One of the
set
best
up a
moments.
new feud with Drew and CM Punk. Drew gets his wing. Damian Priest is now a main eventer. You had that.
And wait, G, let me add to that. The storytelling was so good because of the night one main event. Seth Rollins is getting his ass whooped down to one leg, and it carries over to why Drew McIntyre could beat him so easily. Like, the fact is, everything played into each other from the night one main event to Seth Rollins to Damian Priest cashing in to end up what happening at that night. Like, you have to take in consideration the amount of storytelling that went in and why night one matters so much going into night two. Go ahead, G.
Yes, you also had, which at the time was a good idea, Logan Paul retaining versus both Kevin and Randy Orton in the same match. That was a big deal. Like, say what you want about Logan at the time. We know it didn't work out after, but at the time, big deal. Bayley getting her moment in front of WrestleMania, defeating Io Sky. That was a big deal for everybody. Really happy for Bayley. Yes, obviously we know the two main events. We had the night one main event that made night two Bloodline Rules. You talk about the moments and returns with All Out, Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole coming out unexpectedly, both of them. You had Jimmy and Jay kind of that was the best part of their feud, being in that night two main event. You had that. Then you had Solo come out. Then you had Cena come out. Then you had The Rock come out. Then you had The Undertaker. You had Seth. You had Seth hobbling. And then you had The Undertaker.
The judge of WrestleMania. Like, the guy who holds court in WrestleMania. And see, I think that what makes... I know people, they're going to talk about the cameo fest that's Mania. But the cameos in Mania mattered and mattered to the storytelling. The cameos at AEW is just like, yeah, we got this nigga here. We having a good time. But the cameos in Mania, Cena came out because of the beef that he had with Roman, the beef that he had with Solo. You have Seth coming out in the Shield gear to throw Roman off. Roman's like, what the fuck? He's in the Shield gear.
Mind you, there was a genuine amount of people when they heard that music.
Thought
it was Dean.
Yeah.
Thought it was Dean. It was like, what?
That's why the cameo works. And then I know people wanted Austin because of the ties to Rock, but hear me out. The Undertaker works because he's the judge of WrestleMania. He's the guy who holds court without Undertaker. So for him to come in, lights go out, he's like, nah, this has to happen where Cody gets a fair shake and then winks at him. That's perfect storytelling. That's perfect cameo.
And the emotion that you get.
Final minute.
The emotion that you get with the tears coming out your eyes, right? I think that's really the difference. Because All Out and WrestleMania had big moments. I don't know too many tears was coming out at the end of All Out.
Yeah.
I know there was a good amount of tears. Seeing Cody finally hit the trifecta of them crossroads. Finally seeing Roman get pinned, for the title in 1,316 days. All that emotion that culminated, that was a really good WrestleMania. Other than like Jey Uso, and obviously we don't care about the pride. Mm-hmm. But other than that too, for real, a really good WrestleMania that culminated a lot of stories, established and cemented stars like Rhea Ripley, cemented Sami Zayn again, having
us who the
another
future-
WrestleMania ending a historic reign. That was Sami Zayn's
Who's
second
the
Mania
future
ending a
in
historic reign.
Logan and Dom, like they're gonna talk about how great their matches were. They're great. The matches were great. We had great matches as well. There were great grabs. But we have better storytelling.
All right, you guys will get a chance. We'll start the 5-minute rebuttal period though, starting with Malik and Nate.
All right, we're gonna dive into this, bro. One thing that I think is very important to realize: look at the after effect of both shows. How did the product look after Mania 40? Start to kind of go downhill for a little bit for so many people. Some people start to tap out of WWE after Mania 40. You look at the after effect of AEW. This was the kickstart for them to kind of really being on par with WWE. 2021 AEW, you could debate was better than WWE from every aspect and every angle.
Actually, after Mania
we're getting
40,
nasty now.
Mania 40 is why ESPN wanted to sign. Mania 40 is the hype. Everybody's expecting greatness
we're talking about
after.
the quality. We're talking about the quality of the show. A lot of people have been tapped out since Mania 40.
Wait, no. They didn't tap out after Mania 40. They tapped out after the things that happened after Mania 40 because they weren't as good as Mania 40. So the outlook to what you're saying after Mania 40 was high. It wasn't low. It was
That's
a
the
high
after effect, though. That's the after effect.
The after effect was high.
Okay,
After
hold
you
on.
come off-
Then let Malik
After
finish
you come
his
off a
thought.
Mania like that, they didn't capitalize. That's their fault. They didn't capitalize.
But
on
you
that
can't say
effect.
it wasn't high. It was high because
I
Mania
never
was
said it
so
wasn't high. I
good.
said they didn't capitalize on that effect,
Yeah,
bro.
they
They just didn't. That's a fact. They didn't capitalize on that effect. A lot of us even come on the pod. We're talking about how after Mania 40, I don't feel right, man. Like the product doesn't feel the same. Like we had people missing episodes because they weren't tapped in with WWE after Mania 40. Nate, one of them, Lewis, like many people were not tapped in
Because
fully
it wasn't as good as 40 and
with
40.
WWE.
Let's
After Mania 40, that goes into the after effect. The after effect of Mania 40 didn't live up to the hype and the expectations of what that show had.
You know what?
AEW All Out is what really took that
1
company
minute.
serious for a lot of angles. That is the moment I think that show alone is the moment that I think many people who maybe not have liked AEW or been tapped in with AEW at that time really start to look at AEW as a legit contender. Like this company really might be serious. It was giving people WWE versus WCW vibes. Like we never thought we would have that type of effect again once the Monday Night Wars ended. Once that kind of died down, you never thought you would see another company that could at least match the equal quality of WWE. TNA tried, they failed tremendously. It didn't work out for them. AEW after that show alone, I think that's what that alone is the show that people started to take AEW seriously. And then 2021 AEW was the peak. It's the best year they've ever had in the company.
Okay, let's get Nate in here, and then I'm going to come back to G and Lynn for the final 2 minutes.
Oh man, all right. You want to talk about stories? You want to talk about build? Oh, let's go through this card. Let's see what these stories are like. Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch. What was that build like? Not really all that great, but it was solid. It was
No, don't do that. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Bro, it was solid. It was solid. It was better than last year's, but it wasn't as good as Becky and Bianca. It was solid. The 8-Time Down Under, the whole tag team, it's solid build. It's a tag team 6-man. You don't really need to build to that. Then you get to the LWO versus the Judgment. What was it? Dominic Mysterio, Santos Escobar, whatever the fuck this build was. What was this build? What was this about? It should have been Dirty Dom versus his father again, but I don't know what the fuck they were doing. And then after they had that, what the fuck did they? I forgot one of them niggas in the football. They had them niggas come out. He interfered to the win. For what? Okay, whatever. Jay, Bianca, Naomi, victory. Okay, it was pretty much a glorified squash. Six man. Then you get to Sami Zayn and Gunther. You want to talk about a good build? Sami Zayn shouldn't have been in that spot. Should have been Chad Gable.
Yes.
I remember the outrage when Sami Zayn beat Chad Gable. You want to talk about a good build? And the build was Sami gets his ass beat by Gunther. And the match itself, fine. It was good. It was good. Not as good as I think a Sami Zayn Gunther WrestleMania match should be, but it was good. It was good. It passed the bar. 3.5 stars. And then you have the main event. I'm not going to touch the bloodline stuff. That was pure perfection. McIntyre, Seth Rollins, very good. Involves CM Punk. I will give them that. The Pride
I said we ain't got to talk
versus
about that. Keep going.
versus,
I said we ain't gotta
versus
talk
the
about
final.
that.
Hey,
I said we ain't gotta talk about
listen. I'm not gonna talk about Jimmy and Jay. I'm not gonna talk about Jimmy and Jay. I'll give you that. But we gotta talk about this bullshit right here. Because what is this? What are we talking about? What was this build? What are we doing here? And AJ Styles had a good the match was good, build was solid. Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, good build. Bailey and Io Sky? What what was this build, bro? What are we doing here?
So look,
It should have been so much better. They had one good moment. They had one good moment, and then they completely forgot about this fucking story.
right. So
Match was great though. Match was great. But the story.
It's our time, G.
Yeah, go. Yeah, you got. I'm going to give you guys the last 3 minutes to respond to everything
cool.
they said. Go ahead.
So this is what I will say, right? And I really want to address Malik. The first thing he said, right? Because I do agree with you. All Out 2021, we was like, okay, AEW, y'all started cooking. I'm gonna be nasty here. It's a lot easier to feel like a serious contender when your opponent, when the bar is in hell. Do y'all want to know the last pay-per-view before AEW came out with All Out 2021? You want to know what WWE put out? It was SummerSlam. You want to know what they put out? Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie with Doudrop in the corner. Doudrop, mind you. Wasn't even Pepper Never. Doudrop. That's what AEW was competing with. You know what else they were competing with? Where was it? Big E and Baron Corbin in a pre-show match. That's what they were competing with. RK Bro and AJ Styles and Omar Styles kind of run the course. RK Bro was funny. I'll give you that. Damian Priest and Sheamus, and who really cared for real? Becky Lynch and Bianca. That was good. That was good. Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal with Veer and Shanky barred from ringside.
Ouch.
That's what they was competing with. Charlotte Flair getting her title back versus Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
That's what AEW was competing with. Look, AEW, yes, that was the show. They was serious contenders. But I think it was also serious contenders because that's what they going up against.
And
the bar in hell at that point. The bar was so much in hell. Niggas almost thought NXT 2.0 was competing with WWE at one point.
And Nate want to bring up storytelling of the card. Let's do it. All right. What is the storytelling, first off, in Miro and Eddie Kingston, the Mad King? We got
Redeem these nuts. What? More over than whatever the fuck the LWO is doing.
They also had to do with Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg, mind you. Bobby Lashley
just a good match, nigga. Another just a good match. Moxley and Kojima. They don't have no damn story there, nigga. That's just good matches.
Hey.
You know that, Nate. Don't even do that.
I
can keep going down.
I keep that one for a reason. I don't even know the nigga's name.
I keep going down this damn card. It's great matches, not good storytelling. And you know that's true.
Wait. This was
Jericho and JF, CM Punk, Omega, Lucha Bros. Come on, what we talking about?
Wait, Becky Lynch versus Bianca. This was the squash match. This wasn't even the good one. This was the squash match. Oh, that's my son. See, look,
go ahead, G.
Right now.
Do your thing, G. And then just to finish off,
final point, Lynn.
Yes,
False.
I understand that Kenny Omega and Christian, was a good match because I watch wrestling. But people aren't thinking about that match after this. They're thinking about Danielson and Cole after WrestleMania 40. You know what they're thinking about? Damn, this main event was crazy from the Undertaker to Cena to Rock to Cody to Seth. Everything about this match was incredible, and night one led into night two for great storytelling.
Last point I'll make.
Go ahead. This has been a good one, so go ahead.
The last point I want to make. G talked about the bar was in hell. This was peak Bloodline at the time. You gotta remember. This was the start and the rise of the peak Bloodline story. And the bar was only really in hell to WWE casuals, I feel like. People who just were strictly WWE fans and didn't watch anything outside of WWE. This show, I think, really shifted people from WWE to AEW, or at least both. People saw this show and said, I don't know, man, I might start tuning into AEW. I know people who were against it, who just refused to watch it just because it was AEW. Once that show happened, I knew people who were like, oh man, listen, bro, I got to see what's happening over there now, bro. Like they got all the people.
Hey, so what you're telling me is an ex WWE guy and an NXT star made that show. Hey, man.
Hey, man, you had old niggas in your main event, bro. Let's not even go there, bro. Undertaker with a bad hip can barely walk. Bald ass Mafia.
That's it. That was super entertaining. Lynn, you crack my shit up, my guy. You crack no, I said that in honor of.
I know. Them.
I'm the remote, bro. I'm a remote around here, bro.
Yeah. Jesus God, such great arguments. Like, I still even as a guy who obviously, right, is not an AEW staple fan. But I still remember matches from that show and the ending to that show and how it made you feel afterward. WrestleMania 40, just some of the most iconic WrestleMania moments of all time, all wrapped into one show. So again, I'm gonna tell you where I landed, and then I'm gonna tell you the point that got me. I am gonna go with WrestleMania 40, not because I'm anti AEW, because that show was great. The thing that gets me about WrestleMania 40 is not just that it was great moments stacked together. It was great moments woven together.
Yep.
And the way that everything came together at the end of that final main event. And listen, Malik is right. Is that whole era that people like to call the 2021 to 2022 era the pandemic era. But I call everything from 2020, literally all the way up to the end of WrestleMania 40, I call that the cinematic era. And not just because you had the cinematic matches, but because the matches themselves and the stories were so cinematic. And that main event was just a cap off to everything. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Mania 40. And then just for that, because I know we're pushing up on 6 o'clock, let's go ahead and just move to the last one.
Yep.
This one's a little bit unique. I wanted to do something a little bit different. So what we're going to do here is we are going to do kind of a fantasy scenario where each team is starting their own wrestling company, and there is an open draft for any active wrestler in any company anywhere in the world. Top 3 acts. Yeah.
So quick question, just to kind of clear something up real quick. When we're drafting these people, are these like we're going to use them however we want to use them? Or is it based on how they're used right now?
No, no. If you think there's a guy out there that should be at the top of where he's at, and you would put him at the top of where you're at, I want to hear why, and that's going to be part of the debate. Yeah. So you, as the owners or the bookers of this company, who are your top 3 draft picks? The way we're going to do this is G and Lynn, as the winners of the last round, are going to get the first overall pick. They're going to get 2 minutes to tell me about their first pick and why they're picking them, so-and-so. Then we jump over to Malik and Nate. They make their first pick, tell them about it for 2 minutes, so-and-so, and then we jump back and forth till the draft is done. And then I'll decide who I think has the better top 3.
Is it Snake?
Well, no, we'll jump back and forth just for the sake of being,
Okay.
We'll jump back and forth. So G and Lynn will get the first pick, then over to Malik and Nate, then back to G and Lynn, so on and so forth. Do you guys know who your first pick is already?
Yes, we do, but I'm going to be on mute because we got to warm up about
Hey,
it. But
G,
no,
just text me. Yeah, I know. Me and G talked about our routine. I know what we got.
Okay.
So,
all right, Lynn, you got 2 minutes to make your first overall pick and why.
all right, first overall pick is none other than Maxwell Jacob Freeman. Maxwell he just turned 30. He's one of the youngest guys. He is the best talker in wrestling. He is one of the best wrestlers in wrestling. And he's so good at talking that people forgets how good he is in wrestling. Let's look at it. An hour with Bryan Danielson, the match with Will Ospreay, the match with my boy Kenny Omega that wasn't even a pay-per-view, and they killed it on Dynamite, or that might have been Collision. Either way, it was on television, free television. Max can go. He's shown he can do it all, and the fact that he can talk as well as he does, he is the perfect number 1 pick. He's a franchise player, and he can do everything and then some. He's the perfect heel, and we've seen him be a great anti-hero. Maxwell Jacob Freeman is our number 1 pick. Oh, I think I got something from G. Let's see if I need to add. Oh, okay, no, never mind.
Yeah, you still got a minute, so.
Okay, perfect. Well, yeah, like I said, you can't argue anything about talking. You can't argue anything about wrestling because he's shown, and his age, he's the perfect age to lead me and G's company into the next 2 decades. And you want to talk about star power, the guy is a megastar. He's growing in popularity, was just in the latest Adam Sandler movie, is in a new horror movie, and is about to be in more movies coming out in 2026 and 2027. This guy is the perfect star to build our franchise around. So that's our first pick, Jade. We talked about this before, so. Okay. Yeet.
We're not taking him. Don't get it twisted, bro. Y'all
Bro,
can have him, bro.
Bro, Nate, if y'all took Jay Uso, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Y'all can have him, bro. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. Y'all can have him, bro.
Hey, if y'all took Jimmy and then just like, no Jay.
All right.
He said we could take anybody and turn him into a top star.
All right. So MJF, first overall pick. I kind of expected that.
Yes, sir.
So Malik and Nate, you guys are up. Whoever you want to take the first overall pick in 2 minutes, go ahead.
All right.
Hey, hold on. We're still deciding between two people.
Okay.
That would be my logic right there, honestly. Because if we take that one, we can just pick whoever they, between that two individuals, we can just take the other one. Like they're both good.
All right. Let me explain because I feel like I can wove this and make it logical. All right, so for our first overall pick, we're going to go a little unique. We're going to take Rio. That is the team of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. They are the current tag team champions. And the way you can do this, you can literally build a tag team division around them, but you can also build a women's division around them at the same time. So you knock off two birds with one stone. You can do so many unique storylines with them. And then once they're done with that tag team, you can push them off to the singles route. I mean, there's no set in stone. Damn, there's no set in stone timetable for this team, but you got two big draws. You got two women who push merch. Like I said, you already established two divisions off rip. You got anything to add, Malik?
No, I'll let you get that one.
Cool.
Hey, that was smart. That was smart as hell.
I don't know.
Hey, I just got back. Who they take?
They took Rio, the tag team of Io Sky and Rhea Ripley.
Wow. Wow. You know what? You know what? I will give y'all that. That was smart.
I don't know if Jade's still there or not. So wait for him.
Go ahead, take Jey Uso, y'all. Go ahead, take Jey Uso.
Yeah,
We do not want
not.
Jey Uso.
We'll wait because Jay has the timer, so I don't know if he's
Yeah, I don't know if he's back. True.
I don't know if he's timing stuff right now, but
Hey, so Lynn,
Mm-hmm.
while we waiting, so the one that you said, like in your third message above, I think we can wait now.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Because I was not prepared for that.
No, me neither. I did not expect you to do
Yeah, I
that.
was not prepared for that. So, dang, I can't believe they got them off like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually really smart.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, we have our pick. I still think we should go him,
Yeah, definitely.
but I
Definitely.
still think we should go who you said.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we're looking at like how we would use them, right?
Exactly. It's how we built
All
it.
right,
Yes,
cool.
exactly.
Cool. So yeah, I think we should still go that just because of what I said. Like,
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna send you a
Yesterday.
text to see if
I
2
think
minutes
the one
whenever you guys are ready.
Oh, okay. So,
Oh,
so
okay.
well,
Well, yeah,
Len,
no,
are we gonna lock
yeah.
that in?
Yeah, let's lock that in, G.
All right, cool. So for our second round pick, we got MJF, face of the company, top heel. Well, we need a baby face to match that. So we're gonna go with the young 21-year-old OG Javon Evans as our second round pick. Our thought process is that man is 21 and already over.
Yeah.
Yes, I do agree with Nate. We've talked about it on previous shows before. I need to get him a little media training, just a little bit. Can't run around saying nigga on TV, because it slip out your mouth. But I think Javon Evans, he's already super talented. He's already one of the best, or not one of the best, one of the most over baby faces. Right now, he's in the mid card, yes, but in our company,
He's a top
we're
guy.
strapping the rocket to him. We don't care that he's 21. We're all in the business about making new stars. He's already way above his years in ring. He's already way above his years in being able to connect with the crowd. And if we can really have him untap his potential, he's 21, guys.
Yep.
Cody Rhodes is in his 40s.
And there's
Finn
no
Balor's in his 40s.
There's-
CM Punk is in his 40s. Roman Reigns is in his 40s.
40
And they're all
is
top
the new
stars.
20 in WWE. Yeah.
Right. So imagine if we can get 2 decades out of him, and that might not even be his prime. Yeah, we gotta lock in. We gotta lock in Javon Evans.
And there's nobody else that could get the promo skills out of him better than Maxwell, Jacob, Friedman. And like G said, the best thing about Javon is he's a natural babyface. We don't have to teach anything to him about wanting the crowd to love him because the crowd naturally loves him. He has that Jeff Hardy-like charisma. So when you have that charisma matches with MJF's charisma, our company's through the roof, baby.
Hey, I'm not gonna have to acknowledge this comment. Someone said now draft the Death Riders. I hate you. I hate you.
But you don't want Death Riders, Daniel Garcia?
We got our next pick whenever the time.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
We're talking about Future. This guy just embodies everything that has dollar signs all over it. We taking over Femi.
We figured
that was your first pick.
We knew that was your first round pick. Yeah, that's what we was prepared.
Femi has everything you could ask for in a top guy. He has the believability, he has the size, he has the charisma. Everything about him, he's so believable. There were people vouching for him to win the Royal Rumble in his debut because people would have bought into it. This guy has everything you could ask for. Super young. This is somebody that you look at that's like, yeah, that's a WrestleMania main eventer. That's a guy that we could position at the top of the card and make a lot of money off of, and somebody who's going to be so valuable for the future. He has everything. Everything you could ask for in a top superstar. He has every accolade that checks off every box.
The ruler.
Babyface or heel, too. You can do both.
Babyface or heel.
I don't really got to say much.
Yeah. Nate, you got anything to add to that? Still got a minute.
Nah, bro. Second pick.
All right, cool. All right, we jump over to the final pick then for G Baby and Little G Junior and Lynn over there.
Yes, sir. Me, Lynn, and Little G Baby over here. We have decided, right? Granted, since they had a great move, we already had this locked in, but because they had a great move, we got somebody to counter that. So why not get arguably the best women's wrestler for the past 3 years, arguably, in timeless Toni Storm.
Yes, sir.
Another young one who has mastered the art of being a babyface or a heel, is elite in ring, has clearly got one of the bigger connections with the crowd across any company you can think of. And again, we talk about, making new stars. Your three faces of the company right now are not even 30.
Yep.
You can build around that and have a company be built off those three stars for the next decade, let alone the stars that they're going to make themselves. We have to, Rhea is definitely an option we thought about, because she's 28. If you look at all the other top stars that you can pick as far as women goes, all of them in their 30s, so age really don't matter to them. So why not get the woman who's been arguably one of the best wrestlers on the planet?
And what we
women or
wanted
men.
With our top woman star and our top men star, both MJF and Tony can not only both go in the ring, but they're great storytellers. Over here with me and G, we want to be able to tell incredible stories. And if your top guy is Max and your top woman is Tony, there's no better storytellers at that age.
Who, mind you, can do it on both sides. Peak baby, babyface MJF was one of the best peak storylines before he got injured that we've ever seen in our life. It was able to work. Toni Storm clearly can do both. Of course, we got the young OG Javon Evans to round out our top three.
Who they'll teach. And that's the thing that we like at ours. You can go heel, you can go babyface, but overall, we tell great stories and got good graps.
All right, that's 2 minutes. So now over to the final pick with Malik and Nate.
All right. So for our last pick, I wanted to lean towards the younger guys because I believe in investing in the future. But also investing in the future, you need someone who's been around the block. You need someone who has credibility to give back to the new generation. And who better to do that? And you said we use him however we want. So he's full-time. Ain't no PTO over here. We are choosing the one, the only, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, because he has the storylines, he has the promos, he has the in-ring ability, and you want to talk about, Javon needs media training. That's great. We got someone who can promote our promotion from day one. We draft Roman Reigns. Oh, all right, we need you to go on ESPN. We need you to go on this late night show. We need you to make this TikTok, this whatever, right? And people are going to watch. People are automatically going to be invested. Even if we only use you for 5 years, in those 5 years, you can put over Oba. You can put over whatever other young guy that we have in this draft. Vets are important. They got drawing power. They can give back. They can teach people new things. And just like that, our roster is now solidified. Incredible.
Malik, anything to say about your guy, Tribal Chief?
He pretty much hit everything. I mean, we have star power. You got Rhea, who's outselling the majority of the men on the roster. You got Roman Reigns, who's still arguably the biggest star on the roster. Io on top of that, and then you also have a young guy like Obafemi who could reach that potential. I think we check off pretty much every box you could ask for.
Y'all are right. I feel like even though obviously
I'm going to move into 5-minute rebuttals.
Oh, okay. I mean, obviously, MJF maybe ain't specifically on the level of Roman Reigns, but he damn near close to it.
Yeah,
he close to it. That's our star power. I mean, he's already. I mean, we talk about crossing over to Hollywood. We got old boy and Happy Gilmore too doing
Fright Night.
Right, you know what I mean? And then Tony Storm again. I know y'all did great with the Rio pick. I ain't even gonna hate on y'all for that. Y'all did great getting Rhea and Io as a tag team because obviously you can do so many things with that after the fact. I ain't even gonna take that away from you. But Tony Storm right there with him. Tony Storm right there with him as far as star power as well. Y'all went Oba. Oba was definitely somebody we thought about for sure because we knew y'all was either gonna get Braun or Oba as one of your picks. So we thought about him, but we figured, if we want to tell good stories, we're using MJF as our top heel.
We need a
Javon
top
Evans
baby
is the perfect baby face to suit, and he's 6 years younger than everybody else we talked about.
And that's my thing. Like, I love what y'all did, but my question would just be, who's y'all's baby face? Is it Roman? Is it Oba? How are y'all gonna tell that story between these two? With us, we know where we're going with Javon as that baby face, trying the Dak stacked against him versus Maxwell, who's the ultimate heel. Whereas with Oba, he's over right now. So is Roman. So how do y'all do that? Whereas with ours, we see a clear-cut thing. And the thing about Tony is Tony tells good stories regardless. I don't know how many good stories Rhea's told.
I think sometimes though the matchups is what sells people on paper. Like Oba versus Roman is a match itself that people could just buy into. You put it on paper, it's just like, all right, we don't care who the babyface is, we don't care who the heel is. We want to see Oba versus Roman. It's the match itself that's going to sell. And when we talk about storytelling, realistically, ain't nobody tell better stories than Roman Reigns, especially in the last how many years. Roman Reigns got that on lock. We're talking about the highest level too. Like at the highest level, Roman Reigns head and shoulders above everybody when it comes to storytelling. I mean, literally. When he won the Royal Rumble, there was an outrage. It took one segment for people to flip the switch and say, yeah, I'm bought into it now.
No. You're absolutely right. Only reason we feel like we didn't talk about Roman is, because like I said, we can do it the way we want. And so full-time Roman, obviously, that's still probably the best wrestler on the planet right now. If we took a total package, everything that comes in, Roman Reigns full-time, still probably the best, right? But the way we look at it is, even though we can use Roman how we want, Roman ain't got that much time left.
Yeah, we want to make
that's really what it is. Roman ain't got that much time left.
40.
I got a decade with MJF and I got 2 with Javon. And I got a decade with Tony. That's really what it is. Roman Reigns isn't a bad pick. And again, I'm gonna give y'all credit.
Short-term win, y'all winning right now.
Is like y'all literally just y'all got
short term. I see what y'all doing, but we're going for that long term.
I mean, you could also do long term too, because that Roman Oba field is literally the build is literally Hogan Ultimate Warrior. I mean, it's going to work out better for Oba than Ultimate Warrior. But literally, you establish Roman. No, but you establish Roman as your guy off rip. You get that promotion out the way. You get the promotion for your new company. He does the media stuff and all that, and then you build towards that match with Oba. Oba beats Roman. Now he's an established star off rip. And Oba's not a guy you need to take 2, 3, 4 years. Like Javon, that's going to take time for him to build. He's still young. He's going to have to lose. He's going to have to go through a lot of development. You can't just have him win the title off rip. Oba, you can build that match for like 3 months at the bare minimum. You can have it 3 months, if that. It could even be built up in a month.
But here's the thing though. I don't disagree with y'all at all. Like, you guys have a great roster. I'm thinking of like a combination of the Sami Zayn underdog story that actually worked, plus the Johnny Gargano story that obviously is one of the best we've ever seen. And then having a combination of those for Javon
and having that ultimate heel.
Yeah, like with MJF, he ain't got to have a 1,316-day reign like Roman, but he gonna give you peak cinema. Jesus, I can't talk. Cinema, right? Yeah, I'm tripping.
And they say the money's in the chase. Like you're
especially
right,
because with the way Johnny Gargano, the way we love that story, and the first time Sammy did it, not 8 times later, the first time Sammy did it, the way we love that, man, they gonna be eating out the palm of their hands.
And
with
people
Javon
love
every time they
Javon
do that.
already. And the thing is, it's about the chase, and all the money's in the chase, and having a heel like MJF who could make the chase that much better for Javon when he wins, it'll be so sweet.
I think my last point that I'm going to make too. Just to point out-
Final word to Malik and Nate.
to point out, Roman Reigns is only 40. You can still get another decade with Roman. I just want to point that out too. There's people right now in their 40s who still performing at a high level, and they've been done that for many years. We grew up on. Undertaker was in his 40s when he was still winning world titles, putting on some of the best WrestleMania matches year by year. Cody Rhodes as well. CM Punk is 47, still putting on the best work of his career that we've seen, maybe even ever in WWE at this right now. So you can still get another good many layers out of Roman Reigns, even at his age right now.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, you can do the chase, that's great. But again, teasing people of this Clash of the Titans, like that's as good as any chase you can do. Like that still draws money to this day. I know a lot of people love the underdog story because a lot of people resonate with it. I'm one of those people, but it's also like sometimes we just want to see two big, larger than life, muscled up old dudes beat the shit out of each other. You know what I mean? You keep teasing us with that. We want that, brother. We want it.
MJF, Javon Evans, round 2. It's gonna be exactly that. Two top stars in the company, baby.
Just beating each other.
All right.
And you know, Nate,
Hey,
Malik.
pause,
I
Nate,
mean,
pause,
sorry,
Nate,
you
pause,
know,
Nate,
MJF
pause.
and Javon going in, dog. You know that, Nate. Seeing
I can't
Javon
stand
jump off
Nate,
the
bro.
top versus
You just
old
gonna slip past
MJF.
that like we didn't hear that. That's crazy. Can't stand
All right,
Nate.
all right. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Those are roundabout the names that I expected to hear. I expected to hear Braun Breaker in there somewhere.
We did too.
You couldn't tell me, Malik.
Yeah,
and them was
guarantee-
gonna
yeah.
get on.
Honestly,
Guarantee if it was 5 picks, you would have
Right.
we
yeah.
thought y'all were going Oba and Braun 1 and 2. We thought y'all were.
Here's what I liked on G and Lynn's side. Obviously, Lynn knows I'm an old school guy. I love, even though wrestling nowadays does operate more on a shade of gray territory rather than good guy versus bad guy. I still love the classic good guy underdog versus the bad guy final boss stereotype. So Javon versus MJF, I mean, take all my money and sign me up. What I liked on the other side was I wasn't expecting to hear Roman Reigns, but how you said you were going to use him, not only use him more, but also use him as, hey, here's our face, even if he's just around for 5 years, and that gives us time to build up Oba. And but listen, G said it. The fact that you guys gamed the system and got Io and Rhea on a 2-for-1 deal.
That was smart as hell.
I mean, and I can't even say that's against the rules because they're literally the tag team champions. So I got to give it to Malik and Nate. I do. I mean, the 2-for-1 is great. The role that you're going to use Roman in is great. Oba versus Javon 1-on-1 is a wash for me. I'll take either one of them.
But it's Rhea and Io versus
It's Rhea and
Tony.
Io that did it, yeah. And we literally, I texted him. I was like, "Do we want to take Mina Shirakawa with Tony?" It's like,
And I was like, it's not gonna
he's
hit.
Like, nah,
It's
it
not-
doesn't hit. It doesn't
I was like,
hit.
it's not gonna hit the same. I feel like
It would hit with us, but it wouldn't hit
Yeah,
in
no,
general
for
with the
sure.
public. Nah.
Yeah, it would have hit.
That was a great battle, man. A tie.
Yeah.
We did well.
Yeah,
Man,
no, I've
if
been
only Tony
wanting to
Storm and
host.
Willow Nightingale were a tag team. Ooh,
I've been wanting to host one of these for a while, and I've always thought this idea. And again, this was Nate's original concept that he brought to us. I've always thought this was one of the better concepts that that we've done. And I haven't. So this is my first time I got a chance to present the topics. And again, aside from the draft one, if you were to ask me any of these 4 questions, the options that you guys have are my top 2 answers to each of those questions. So super good debate. Super awesome to be able to do that. So I appreciate it. Good job,
Nah,
guys.
those were great questions, Jade.
oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
G, as a
okay.
team, we're 1-1, bro. Well, 1-0. We haven't got a win, but we tied.
What do you mean we don't have a win?
we
1-0-1.
lost. We lost to the first time we had because Lewis was the judge. You don't remember? We lost by
I thought
1
we won
point.
that one. I thought
Oh,
we won
did
that
we? Oh, and then we 1-1. Never mind.
I was
One
gonna
win,
say,
one
I
tie.
thought we won.
All right, my
I'm just
bad.
messing with bro.
I don't remember that at all, actually. It was a minute. We've done a couple of these debates.
Bro, we haven't done this in a minute, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, but Nate, your idea about the 1v1s, nah, that should be hard.
Obviously,
It's just-
initially, I wanted to say, oh, hey, I'll do another quiz, but I honestly don't know if I'm going to have time to put one of those together. So I decided to do this instead.
We do the 1v1 like a G1.
By the
like
way,
a tournament.
debut of little G over there.
Yes, debut
yeah.
G baby.
What's up, little man?
Yeah, man.
Mommy's not home right now, so he was sleeping, and then he heard us talking about All Out 2021 and WrestleMania, and he started getting excited.
No, we got some super chats we're gonna get to.
Huh?
Yeah,
Nah.
don't put up that last one. What the
Yeah,
fuck
no,
is that
what?
one?
What the hell?
Oh, he gonna put it up. He gonna put it up anyway.
Wow.
I mean, he paid for it. He paid for it, bro.
Why'd
He
you
paid for it.
put that in the Why'd you put that in the chat, man?
Why'd you pay to say that, bro? What the hell?
What the hell? Oh,
I
lemon
will
pepper.
say I'm glad Lemon Pepper Steppers is coming back because that
It's
was very
over.
much
Oh, yeah.
a 2018, 2019 thing.
Bro, he need to sell some. Like, imagine Trick Williams putting some actual
I'm
lemon
not
pepper
wearing. I'm
steppers.
not wearing them ugly ass boots.
I wouldn't
so
wear them either, G, but
I'm
people
not
would buy
wearing
them.
them ugly ass boots. Hey, he
Nah.
making it work, and he's a heel, so it's cool. I hate his outfits though. I would never wear that. But hey, you got money, so do your thing, partner.
What would have been your answers, Jay, to the questions you asked? Like the better.
Oh man, if I had been on the teams getting those questions, and I had the choice to defend, I probably would have defended. What was the first question? I've already forgotten. Hold on.
The first one was
Well, my-
Black
what
and
my
gold or
favorite-
ruthless aggression.
Yeah, no, ruthless aggression. Ruthless aggression is one of my favorite, maybe my favorite time period of all time in wrestling. But that might have to do with the fact that's the one I came up in.
Mhm.
Santino versus R-Truth. Coming into today, I would have said R-Truth. The arguments did heavily sway me towards Santino, though, but that one might have been a wash. Missed opportunity, Cesaro or Rusev Day. I would have said Cesaro. I would have wanted to defend Cesaro. And it was really just all came down to, again, and I knew that G and Lim were going to talk about all the stuff that Rusev had. But to me, it means a lot more that Cesaro didn't have any of that shit and was still getting the crowd behind him. And then Mania 40 or All Out. Probably Mania 40, just because even though consistently down the card, AEW for the most part was banger, 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 and then ended with those two huge debuts. I don't know if anything's made me feel like the announcement of Cody Rhodes as WWE champion at the end of WrestleMania 40. Like the emotions, and again, just how almost every story in that two-night show weaved together to capitalize at the end with this huge grand moment. Cinema, absolute peak cinema.
Thanks.
And then my top three draft choices probably would have been Obafemi, Braun Breaker, and Bianca Belair. Probably would have been my
We
top.
talked about
G,
Bianca.
what we talked
We
about?
talked about Bianca, but well, first it was like if we're gonna do the age thing and we're gonna be consistent, if we're doing it, it's got to be Rhea. And then once he said Tony Storm, I said, "Oh, lock that in.
Yeah.
You gotta lock that in."
Yeah.
Because we were torn on Bianca, and because G said Bianca or Bailey, and I was like, oh, not Bailey.
No, Bianca
or
and Becky.
And I was like, Bianca, and then we were like, but wait, the
We
age
started
thing-
researching the ages.
Yeah.
I didn't know Becky was 40.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Bianca's 36. Like, I didn't know that
EO's
either.
35. That's why we didn't bring her up because EO 35.
So we had
So
to
I
be
was like,
consistent with our
that's
ages.
So,
That's
let
peak, though.
me ask everybody this before we head off here. Who is somebody right now that is young, up and coming, that you're looking at for you, just from your perspective, that you feel like there's no way this person shouldn't become a superstar? Like if booking fails them, it's going to be a disgrace.
Oba.
Yeah.
Oba would be my
I
number
mean,
one.
without hesitation
Yeah.
for me, Obafemi. Dude's
Oba-
got everything. He's got
Oba
I say
everything.
Braun to be different.
Oba and Braun are my men's. For me, and I know we haven't talked about her enough. To me, Roxanne Perez better be a star. I get they was kind of taking their time. We was telling a little story, and then she got injured. Roxanne Perez is 23, guys. 23.
Same,
Women,
bro.
I'm gonna say Sol Ruka. That's what I'm gonna say for the women.
Oh yeah, her
Yeah.
And by the way,
That's
based on recent
incredible.
crowd reactions, Trick Williams also has to be in that
Yeah.
conversation.
Hey, I've been saying it in the chat. Jade Trick is like he's that.
It's just because
dude,
when he was NXT champion,
it didn't
it
hit.
really kind of it didn't hit because it was like, look at you. But then when he became TNA,
TNA,
champion,
yep.
I was like, okay, we
TNA
kinda
did it
figured
for
out a
him,
little
bro.
bit.
I don't know what happened over there with him and TNA, but he figured it out with them.
So I'm gonna be different because I was gonna say Javon, but I'm gonna be different with both my men and women's pick. They haven't made it to the main roster yet. One of them hasn't even made it to NXT full time. For my men's, I'm gonna say Jackson Drake. I think he has the look. He's great in the ring. He's good on the mic. I think, and he's super young, bro. He's like the same age as Javon. So they got time to build him. Another one is Kendall Gray. Seen her from her Evolve debut. Freaking hooper. Like, they're already building her up. So, like, the only
Women's
thing
Kurt
that's
Angle,
stopping these
bro.
two. Yeah, bro. Women's Kurt. Like, literally, like, nothing. The only thing that's
So
stopping
what
them
you're
is
saying is I need to watch Evolve now.
Yeah.
you need to watch Evolve, man. I've been making videos, man. Evolve
Nigga, this
is
Nate
I mean,
Cappuccino Jones.
Where is it? You said it's Tubi.
bro,
right?
he's like
Tubi's free?
Tubi, bro. Hey, you're gonna see some segments, and you're gonna see why it's on Tubi. But it's still good though. Then like, what's the name?
Is it
Eli Knight.
Eli Knight,
Yeah,
Eli
Eli
Knight just
Knight.
went to. He just
Yeah,
went to
Eli
Eli
NXT.
Knight and Matt Cunningham. They had a match against Swipe Right on the February 11th edition. That match was fucking gas, bro. That match was so good. They be having some like it's the tag team matches and the women's matches that be banging on that show.
I feel like for me,
multi-person matches. Oh my
I
god.
like Jack Cartwheel too. I like him.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he hasn't been on there. He's been in AAA.
He's
though.
been in AAA.
Yeah, I was about to say it's been a
Jack
minute.
Harlow.
Somebody down there
making
too
music?
involved that I think
You
they
silly.
want. I think they really want Kelly Armstrong to be big too because she has the
Ooh,
look.
yes.
She has the
Yeah.
look.
Somebody
I
in
do,
chat
yeah.
just said Callie Armstrong, like right when you
Mm.
dropped
Yeah,
dropped
Kelly
the
Armstrong.
Yeah.
She got
the look,
physical
bro.
She has a
presence,
look.
bro. She does.
Yeah.
Jada Parker should be a top star too, but
Yo,
She
yes.
should be.
Jade,
Take
that was
away
what
from
I mean,
Jay, but yes.
G, that's who I texted you who we could draft. I said Jada.
I was like, no, we're not drafting Jada Parker.
I feel like
over
though
these
for
other
me,
guys.
I would have to agree with Jade to get my point before we head off. I still think Braun Breaker's going to be the next face of the company. I think they've already
Yeah.
been sold on that. I think
100%,
they've pretty
yeah.
much been sold that they've wanted Braun since NXT 2.0. But
Mhm.
He had the first match.
Oba, bro, like for me, if I had to pick, I'd pick him, bro. Like he has it. Like I feel like he has the it factor. He has everything you
just-
could ask for. Like
I just believe that you can have two faces of a company. I think they both can do the exact same thing.
But there's only gonna be one A, one B. I think Oba's gonna be Batista, like the one that like the
But-
fans get behind. You know what I
But a
mean?
He's gonna be
Batista,
Batista
Batista that doesn't like have the
Leave.
end to his career that Batista
Yeah, it doesn't
had.
leave.
Like,
Yeah.
like a Batista with a Randy Orton type career. If that
So you
makes
saying
sense.
Oba's Batista and Braun Cena?
I don't know, man. I don't see Oba having a 20-year career. I see him leaving after like maybe 10, maybe
You
8.
think he gonna be in
He's
Going up
movies?
to bigger things.
Ah,
possibly, bro.
I don't know.
That's the long term plan. I think a lot of wrestlers are starting to understand that
Yeah.
you can only take bumps temporarily, bro.
See, I
Like,
think
movies-
Trick
Yeah.
gonna be in
Movies-
movies.
Movies is
Oh
the
yeah, for
movie.
sure.
I think
Hollywood trade.
Yeah.
I think a lot of wrestlers are starting to understand that you can only take so many bumps.
Yep.
And life, you have to find a life outside of wrestling at some point. The Rock has really been the catalyst for that. You know what I mean? Like he did it when at his peak. He left during the prime of his career and said, I'm gonna go over here and make these movies and hopefully succeed to show that everybody can make a career or a living outside. Before that, nobody
Yeah.
was taking wrestlers serious as actors. You know what I mean? So
I'm
now
not-
it-
Hulk Hogan shit the bed.
it's a different,
I'm
it's a
not mad
different
at that,
move, bro.
Mr.
Yeah, if y'all
Bernard.
haven't seen, y'all gotta watch that new movie with Batista and Jason Momoa. That shit was fire, bro.
Oh yeah,
Fire.
that
Yes.
that went
On
crazy.
Amazon,
that
That
shit
went
was
crazy.
fire, bro. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that
went
oh,
crazy.
Batista's really a good actor, bro. That shit
I'm
was
not gonna lie,
Yeah.
Jason
Hey.
Momoa, low key, he could have gone here. He can go join the bloodline right
This
quick.
is not a hot take because this is the truth. Batista's the best wrestler turned actor. Fact. He is. He's the best
Yeah.
acting wrestler. No, bro.
Only reason why I pause on that is because he barely now started adding some versatility.
Bro, you okay.
No, because let's be real.
Blade
before
Runner.
before he was really banking off Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what he was banking off.
I'm giving him his
was
props
the-
for them smaller roles. Like the nigga was in Arrival. He was in Blade Runner. He was in some of these
Dune.
Denis Villeneuve Dune. Like
Dune.
I think now he's starting to get some of the versatility to where I can hear you out more, but it wasn't always this case.
No, he was
we,
in
we
solo
can say what we
roles,
want to say about The Rock. We're not gonna act like that nigga wasn't putting out bangers, bro. Like that nigga was putting out
No,
bangers.
I
The
mean,
Rock.
he was the biggest actor in the world for a minute, for a reason.
Yeah.
bro. Like,
No,
Yeah.
for sure. I'm not taking away from
Even
But
if-
like, but
even
like,
even if he played the same character, bro, his movies. were
yeah.
sick.
The Rock
Even in
is the
Smash
biggest,
Machine, bro. Like he was the Rock. Like
The Rock is the biggest
You think he
wrestling
was The Rock and the
actor,
Tooth Fairy? Because as a kid, that was elite.
but I just think Batista's the best
I gotta watch
acting
Super
wrestler.
again.
That's all.
Batista, I think, has some range for sure. He
Yeah,
probably
he-
should
the-
have
he-
more range,
yeah.
but looking
If
at
you
him,
I think
go ahead.
I
The
was
first
gonna say
20
he does
minutes-
have
oh,
range
Go ahead.
Let me see if I can share my screen.
reaching that point too.
I'll share
I
my
mean,
screen for a minute, for a second.
Yes,
honestly,
Cabin in the Woods.
Cena's starting to
Fire.
add range. Cena's
Yes, he
starting to add
is.
himself a range, bro.
Looking at his
Yes, he
catalog,
is.
I mean, I don't know, bro. Batista's catalog. is
I'm not gonna
pretty-
lie. I'm not gonna lie. If we look at Batista's catalog, I'm just gonna be real with
crazy.
y'all.
Bro, knock
It's
at the
heavily-
cabin, bro. Knock at the cabin was tough.
Yes,
it's
bro.
heavily
I gotta watch
carried
that.
by Guardians of the Galaxy. Like the other stuff is
What?
cool.
Carried is crazy.
Bro,
All right,
But
Carrie
look,
is insane, bro.
PG,
I'm
you
not
gotta
saying.
give him
Look,
credit
look.
for
The
them.
Wrecking Crew was fire. The Wrecking Crew was fire.
You gotta give him credit for them
Where's
small
the other
roles.
one that he did?
The Spectre and Blade Runner and Dune roles, them
Bro,
shit
and
was
Army of the
nuts.
Dead was good. Army of the Dead was good.
Yes.
Glass Onion was good.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
Glass
the
Onion-
movie. I'm
hey,
not saying the movies weren't good.
Glass
I'm
Onion,
saying
Batista
he
and
was
Glass Onion was
cool,
crazy.
He was.
He doesn't
I don't think
have.
it was enough.
Crazy.
I don't
He
think it was
doesn't
enough to
have.
say he's the
I'll say
best
he
one.
doesn't have a movie in here that is box office like Guardians of
No,
the Galaxy.
zero. He's not a
Yeah.
box office actor. He's not
He's
at
not.
all.
Okay,
I don't think
but
he's fine
does
with
that
that.
not go to the point to why you can't say he's the best actor if he's not box office?
Okay, so I'm saying acting based upon just acting ability.
Yeah, ability. Yeah.
Like looking at these movies, bro. Stewart was funny. My Spy is pretty good.
Like for sure, The Rock is the biggest. Like The Rock is
Bush
by
was
far the
alright.
biggest but John Cena got a case too.
Final score, bro. This movie too. Final.
I would take John
That was
Cena's range and acting ability over
Let's see.
Batista's.
I-
Okay, G, I'll give it to you.
Every day of the
John Cena's a mixture.
that's all I'm
Batista
arguing. To say
Right,
that
but
he's
you,
the
can,
best
you
actor.
can look at Cena. What is Cena's biggest bug? The Fast franchise?
Yeah,
Probably.
Or Suicide Squad.
Suicide
Yeah.
Squad.
Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Bro, the
Oh,
fact that
I think
he's
over the movie-
Nah, man, y'all sleeping on 12 rounds, bro.
And y'all sleeping on Trainwreck for real. Y'all sleeping on
Trainwreck,
Trainwreck for real.
Ricky
Boy, was
Stenicki's
cooking in that
good
movie.
too. I'm not gonna lie to
Cool.
you. Ricky Stenicki's
Was
good.
cool.
Oh,
Ricky
yeah.
Stenicki-
Why
Ricky
is
Stenicki-
WrestleMania on there? What
Bro,
the hell?
if y'all ain't seen Vacation Friends funny.
Fire.
I didn't watch that.
With Lil Rel.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie.
That's on Peacock, right? That's on Peacock, right?
No,
Even
no,
though
that's
Hulu-
on
Hulu.
Amazon, I think, or Hulu. One of
Oh,
them. Yeah.
damn.
Even though he was in
Hulu.
a small role, he was fucking hilarious in Barbie movie. He was hilarious.
Yes, he
in
was.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. But hey, the fact that
Hey, shout out Fred though. Shout out Fred. You know what I mean?
the fact
Oh,
that
yeah,
John
for sure,
Cena
shout out
was
Fred. That's classic.
Peacemaker, like he's
Yeah.
in forever now, bro. As Peacemaker,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
over with.
Yeah,
But I don't think that's bigger about the Fast franchise, bro. That shit, come on.
Oh, that's the
Fast
biggest.
franchise is crazy,
That's the
yeah.
biggest. All right, fellas, I'm about to have to
franchise,
dip out on
That's
y'all.
what. That's why I'm saying he's not. That's why I'm saying Batista's not the biggest. I can't say he's the biggest.
Oh no, I will never say he's the biggest G. He just
You said he was the best actor. I'm
the
sorry.
best
I don't think
actor,
he
yeah.
is.
In terms of
Yeah, I
his
don't think
And then
ability.
you look at, I don't know, The Rock. He do got range.
Oh, The Rock got hit.
He do got range. He do got range.
I would say
like,
Smashing Machine was probably one of his best performances as an actor. That was
100%.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Malik, you can say it. It is his best. Like that's the most range he's done. Like he.
I don't
killed
know,
it.
bro.
Hey,
I don't know.
people
I
sleep
still- I
on
don't know,
Central
bro.
Intelligence.
This one right
That
here,
was
bro.
hilarious.
Gridiron Gang, bro. That shit was.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Gridiron Gang was so good, bro.
I haven't
Like,
seen it in a minute.
This before
Bro,
box office.
bro, I'm not gonna lie. Free Guy, bro.
Free Guy was good.
Stop playing with this man, bro.
I'm
He
gonna
got
holler
Free
at
Guy,
y'all.
Snitch,
Red
Snitch.
Notice,
Snitch was a good movie. That's a good movie.
bro. He got. What else he got up there? He got Central Intelligence. He got.
Yeah.
But he was good in bait. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Stop playing.
Rampage.
Wait. Nah, I don't think Smashing Machine. Smashing Machine, I just saw Rock. I'm not gonna lie. It was good, but I just saw Rock. I just saw Dwayne. I'm not gonna lie.
What? His acting? You didn't like his acting, bro?
It was good, but I felt like I was watching The Rock. Like it wasn't bad. I wasn't like, oh my god, but I was like, I'm watching The Rock.
Nah,
Like
Red
it's literally
One,
how.
Red
No, I do
Notice,
feel
But
like this
Jumanji
one-
2 though, Jumanji 2 when he was acting like Danny DeVito, that people sleep on that one.
I would say he does have some movies on here where he's kind of playing the same stuff, like Rampage, San Andreas. Like San Andreas and Skyscraper were kind of a little overboard for me, bro. Like the whole city.
And unfortunately,
Yeah.
because I know
especially
the
Skyscraper,
context
niggas
behind
jumping
it,
across the building. I'm like, nobody's doing that.
because I know the context behind it, I also can't rock with Black Adam. Unfortunately, because
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
too much care for that one.
And it can't
yeah,
work
because
that way.
especially because I know the context and how he was moving behind the scenes. I
Pain
can't
and Gain
rock
though.
with that.
Pain and Gain was tough. That's
That's crazy. He did this, bro. That's crazy when WWE thought that shit would work. That was crazy. He did the same thing.
Did the same thing for what?
When he came back in 2024, thought he could
Oh, yeah.
make the shit up all by himself.
Yeah, literally.
Facts. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and sign off. Make sure you guys hit subscribe. We'll be back next week giving y'all our Elimination Chamber predictions. So make sure you guys tune in for that. We were supposed to do, the Elimination Chamber recap. We're doing the recap.
Yeah, recap.
We were gonna give our predictions this week, but we don't know all the participants in the match. So,
Yeah, if you live in Chicago, good luck trying to go to a watch party.
I'll be there. I'll be there at the show.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. They bugging.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what they're doing. Though. That's
They
crazy.
bugging.
They want people to buy that ESPN stuff, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy work. It's crazy work. So
But
Make
if
sure
you
you guys
bought
tune in.
ESPN and I don't see the issue, but whatever.
yeah.
Host them at your house, man. Host them at your
Hey,
house.
but I bet you they gonna take all them clips of people having watch parties not in Chicago. They
Yeah.
gonna take all them clips and put it on the recap
Oh, yeah.
page on Monday.
Yep.
We probably could have did our little predictions, but I think we all kind of haven't stated what we're gonna do. But
I just want to know who y'all think is in the box.
I honestly don't know.
Bullshit.
He said bullshit.
Triple H gonna come out and say new era. That's what they're saying. New era.
Bro, I'm gonna be so pissed.
I hope and pray it's Bianca. That's the only person.
I think it's Jericho. I think Jericho would be the most because Jericho's always been known to have like them crazy returns that So
Well,
Jericho would be cool though, but
because of what I want them to do, I want them like in a feud, like because who qualified for Elimination Chamber? Just Alexa, right? Charlotte didn't.
Charlotte's not in there. They pick
Right. So what I hope happens is like Nia and Lash take out Alexa to continue that feud, and then who's in the box? Bianca Belair.
Realistically, if it's not Jade versus Alexa and Charlotte, it's gonna have to be Rhea. That's the only person in the match. Who else you gonna face? It's gonna have to be Rhea.
That's why I want Bianca Belair.
I think I know who's in the box. I know what the box is gonna be. You know who's gonna come out the box? It's gonna be Road Dogg, and he's gonna be the next inductee in the Hall of Fame.
Yo, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up. Because that's probably
So like all his prison, baby. You know what I mean?
Realistically, though, I honestly don't know what's in the box. Like Jericho would be the only thing I could think of.
Because they just brought it in randomly.
Watch it be like some bullshit to promote.
You have to bet. Okay, you think it's gonna be disappointing?
Yes.
I'm more confident that it'll be
But for real, you don't have any faith?
I could be like a dog or something.
I'm like 85% confident it'll disappoint because it just
It's gonna be some. I feel like it's gonna be some type of sponsored thing, like, oh, this is our new fucking. I don't know.
So if it's Jericho, would that be a shocker to you? Like, all right,
That would be a
If
shocker.
Jericho, I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, I heard about his contract freezing, but if they can
that
get
wouldn't
it together,
upset you.
cool.
Though. Y'all be like, all right, I can live with that. Like, it's fine.
If it's Jericho,
I mean,
I'd be
sure.
like, oh shit.
Sure, I'll be
At
like,
least he's
okay,
back.
cool.
I know people are gonna be pissed. They're gonna be like,
As
oh, why
long
is he
as he's
coming
not
back in
in
the
the main
box?
event. As long as not in the main event.
Yeah, people are gonna be mad regard. Whatever is in the box, people aren't gonna like. All right, like.
Oh my God. Somebody just reminded me that Tiffany Stratton's in the chamber.
I don't think they're gonna do Tiffany and Jade again though.
They might though, because I think it's fair to say that Rhea's not winning because
I don't know.
they're gonna
though, bro.
defend the tag titles. Bro, and even though they haven't been on TV, the Bellas are still there.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
But I could see them doing like they've done matches before. I mean, probably know that, but they could drop the tag titles before Mania.
I hope they don't.
It could be
because
EO.
they're
It could be EO and Rhea versus EO versus Rhea versus Jade. They could do that.
That's disgusting.
No, it wouldn't be a bad match. Oh,
It wouldn't be a bad match, but I don't want to
Because
say
Liv for sure is gonna pick Stephanie. So that's
of course
that's gonna
because
be
she
nice.
just made her cry. So
For Jade,
I really think
depending
it's
on who
probably
that
gonna be
last
Tiffany.
entrant. Who else is in that? Guys, who else is in that? I don't know. Who else is in that qualifying
It's
match?
Tiffany, Rhea.
No, they got one more. They got one more qualifying match.
I
Who
don't
else is
even
in
know,
that?
bro.
I think it's Lyra.
Oh, it is Lyra. Lyra.
Let me see. Hold on.
Bailey already had a shot, right? And she
Oh,
lost.
it's Raquel, Io, and Kyrie. Also, Io gonna be there. Okay, I think Io.
Honestly, I don't think it is. I think it's gonna be.
Yeah,
Raquel.
y'all know a crazy prediction.
I
that
think
I
it's
have?
gonna be Raquel.
Y'all want to know a crazy prediction that I have? This is nasty too. I hope this doesn't happen. By the way, so I'm hoping this doesn't happen. I think Brock Lesnar gonna be in that chamber, bro. And I think
Hey, this is out the mud. We got Rashad McCants. I holla at y'all. Appreciate you. We not doing this.
I think Brock Lesnar is gonna take out LA Knight, and that's gonna be the story for Mania. Because Nate's the one that said that he think they're gonna do Brock Lesnar versus LA Knight at Mania, and I was like, I don't know.
Oh, Brock Lesnar does come back on Raw.
But he's on Raw tomorrow before Mania. Before
Well, then
the
he's not
Chamber?
gonna be in the box. He can't be in the box.
Well, no, I
No.
think there's gonna be something where if he doesn't take out LA Knight, I could see him taking out the triple threat match of all those guys and just inserting himself because he's not gonna have a match to qualify. So I can see that happening, bro. I swear, I just really because why is he on Raw for what? For
To
the
set up his
Raw
main
chamber
match.
for what?
Hey, he's probably gonna go after the Masked Man. He's probably gonna help Division. Paul probably called him in.
To go after the division?
No, to help Division. To Paul, I'm pretty sure Paul Heyman called him in. Like, hey man, this Masked nigga fucking us up. I really hope the Masked Man is Adam Pearce.
It's Grayson Waller. I think
If it's Grayson Waller, that's disgusting.
it's Grayson Waller. If it's Adam Pearce, that'd be fire. But I don't think it's gonna be.
I would
Adam
be
Pearce.
You think? Why do you think it's Grayson Waller?
His connection with Austin Theory.
I heard Austin Theory.
Isn't he running with the New Day though?
Yeah, but that don't mean that could be the distraction right there.
And
he got
Austin
the-
Theory
Yeah.
supposed to be Seth Rollins fire, some bullshit like that.
That's what I heard too.
What?
That's what I heard. I heard
They
the theory.
said that Austin Theory, because of his connection back in COVID when they were
Oh,
in
yeah,
the,
yeah. That makes
yeah,
sense.
like
the spy.
he actually supposed to be the spy. He's
I'm
the
not
one
gonna
who
lie to you,
caused Braun Breaker.
I think Austin Theory, he kind of in the same boat. I mean, he gonna be the jobber of that group. He
Bro,
there.
that division, bro. Like I see stuff online. I look at that group, bro. Like there's like literally no aura. I'm like, first of all, I didn't like the group to begin with. I thought the group was shit to begin with. But then
they just need to have Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman. That's it.
that's what I'm saying, bro. They just stop making.
And if
shit
they want to
up.
throw Braun in there too, those two alone, they work together.
Yeah, that's fine. They're a good tag team. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Logan Paul doesn't
once
need to
they
be-
added
Logan Paul doesn't need
to
to be
it,
with Paul Heyman. Like we already know he's gonna be pushed, so he doesn't need to be there. That's not gonna change his push. Austin Theory, I mean, he's good. He's good by himself alone if he gets the opportunity. But I just don't know if he's really gonna be pushed in that same light. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just kind of feel like he's gonna be the jobber of the group. Like when they have tag team matches, he's taking the pin. It's gonna be him.
Yeah.
He's gonna be taking the downfall. So, all right, y'all, we out of here.